turn our logo on, man.
Oh, yeah.
You got time, though, baby. You got time.
Oh, I got time.
You got plenty
We're
of
doing
time.
this?
We're doing it. We're doing it.
We're doing it.
It's us. That would be the second time we had to launch the show. We're going to get our logo up there because why not? It's a cool logo.
Our logo looks like YouTube. Oh,
Add an account. No,
I'll tell
watch
you
as a
what
guest.
I'll tell you what I'm tired of. I'm tired of Aunt Rita coming over here, her and Brian.
Whoever's
What
down
were
here.
you- Adjusting everything.
yeah. Her and
Stop
Panic
it.
Time come over to do the Them Horses Stink podcast.
That is the title of Panic Time and Aunt Rita's Story Hour.
We're over there on that
Them
TV as
horses
well.
stank. Oh, I guess I turned that one on too.
Oh, man.
What if this is on all your neighbors' TVs and shit?
just adjusting
like it's
everybody's
broadcast?
stuff.
Dude, we're just turning everything on. There's TVs over there that are turned on. But
All
hey,
right.
the main one works.
I'm kind of turned on.
Cheers,
I'm excited
welcome
about this show.
Welcome back. Glad to be back with you
Yeah.
boys. I saw the vlog is live on YouTube. Don't spill. Whoosh, sick, and it melts the whole thing. The vlog from the SCVMX at Scrubbing Dirt is live, so that's awesome. Jake Fricker not here with us. Normally he is here, so he's
We
not.
had to
with
let Jake go.
us. We're hoping through the
Same as Kevin.
DEI,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had to let him
Last
go.
week we
Yeah, we hired it. Yeah, we
Doge came through and said, "Look, he's the only guy making money." So-
Yeah,
gotta hire him back, man.
Doge. We had to get rid of him because he had a beard.
Yes,
he's too woke for us.
he's
Yep.
way too woke.
Well, welcome back to Winner's Take, y'all. So typically the way this show works out, we're going to have about 45 minutes of nonsense before we get to our guests. So if you think we're stupid, well, here's your opportunity to fast forward.
No, it's gonna get worse.
Oh, yeah.
If you
for
think
sure.
we're stupid right now,
Yeah, that's the first fireball shot you've had. So
hey, and we didn't drink any last week without. We get to the end and we're like, notice anything different? we didn't even.
We
think
literally
of
had
it.
no alcohol.
was I the one? Am I
yeah,
the bad
you're
influence?
so we figured out it's all your problem.
Dang
Kevin's
it.
problem,
I did
man.
a few shows without drinking a drop, too, there for a while. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
But I'm back. So
I can tell you, we weren't as silly last week.
But we had they were good guests.
yeah,
They
the
talked a
ratings
lot.
show that. I'm just
Dude, the
saying.
interesting. They were extremely interesting. Mitch Covington, you could talk to that dude
Alabama
to
fan.
the end of time. So we're joking with him about being rednecks because he's from Alabama and all. When he first started talking, we thought he like laid it on a little heavy just for our benefit. Nope, that's how country he
100%.
is.
His dad's, I mean, he's Thomas Covington's dad, dude. I knew those dudes when they were just local dirt bike guys, and obviously he's made some very good decisions.
Made some
in this
great
life.
decisions.
Talk about a come up.
He was in the trash business and then got a job as an agent. If you haven't listened to the show,
Just because he was standing in the right place at the right time.
just been talking to the guy that was a truck driver, and the guy was like, "Hey, go out to Vegas. I need an agent." And I was like, "Well, so he thought that hiring a guy who's in the trash business was going to
oh, you're a garbage man.
that totally.
that
I
makes a
need an
great
agent.
agent." Yeah, you're the,
I love those kind of stories. Right place, right time, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
but dude, it just sort of showed some of the savvy of Mitch Covington, though, because
yeah, he was going to get there in some capacity somewhere.
Monster said it's Monster,
Yep.
and they're like, "Oh, we've already spent our budget, but man, we'd like to get a sticker on the helmet. How much would that cost?" So he calls his driver, Johnny Greaves.
Well,
Johnny's like, "Oh, they're a cool company, man. 10,000, that'd be awesome."
sick.
So Mitch goes straight back to Monster and goes, "Hey, man, we do have room on the helmet, but it's $75,000." Like the person he's representing said 5 to 10. So what they do? They end up settling
40.
at 40. Yeah,
Yeah.
40K.
They said
He was like, "All right, you drive a
"I
hard
can't
bar."
do 75, but we can do 40." He's like,
Turns out I was 30 under.
That's
guess
pretty
what?
awesome.
Well, this
I
is
mean,
the first year deal. We'll circle back.
and we joked on there about how the Southern accent can kind of you play like
It'll
you're
lull
dumb.
you into dumbassery.
Yeah, you think you're dumber,
and you get in their pocket.
Well, and then since he's in charge of Monster marketing now, we told him we wanted 75 grand for our helmets, and we settled on he would send us a sticker.
Still getting,
Just same as the way he
still
whacked-
getting the best.
You know how he greased that?
Yeah.
We greased it for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Like we did. We said, "No, man, we got to have a sticker for each helmet." And it was
Both
like-
sides.
No,
Yeah.
I'll give you one per helmet.
Well, we didn't care at that point because we had him where we wanted him.
Right where
Yeah.
you wanted him.
You know, that's how you do it, son.
We're
Well,
ahead.
speaking of agents, we do have Jimmy Button on. He's from Wasserman, and of course, he's from the PJ1 team.
Team Extreme.
Team
PJ1
Extreme. He's from
Extreme.
the DGY Yamaha team. He's from. He was Jeremy McGrath's Chaparral Yamaha team. He was a badass 80 rider back in the day.
Well, I think one of the best. I mean,
He came
some
up
of
at
his
the
results were,
peak of 80 riders, and like between Antonez and, geez, man, that one CMC race.
Well, he beat Emig at that one
Emig,
too.
Antonez.
And you got
That was a
Jimmy Gaddis.
Gate full of killers is what it was
It
for
really
that time
was.
period.
Yeah, it's
you
like
know,
a Hall of Fame crew there.
And I don't remember Chris Neal. We're talking
I do remember
1987
him, but-
Carlsbad.
California
CMC,
specialist.
Golden State, National. Is a national, man. I mean, 42 mini bikes, all with a bunch of factory support sitting in there. It's just little kids, you know.
my fondest memory of Jimmy Button was Kevin and I were in San Diego one time after Supercross party, and he got us in the bar that we were.
Well, we were just kind of hanging out. We went into there, and he goes, "Dude, come on!" And next thing you know, we're in the Velvet, and he even came to get. They're like, "Hey, who?"
Were you, like,
they about ran us
wrapped
out. He
in
goes, "No,
Velvet?
no, no, they're good."
Are you wrapped in velvet? How
Crushed Velvet
you're wrapped in?
in crushed Velvet.
What was
yes.
this, Velvet?
Yeah.
He
Super cool.
we were outside the bar, and it's one of those bars where they pick you to come in.
Yeah, if basically they're like, you're way too ugly.
They didn't even have a clip.
Super
There was
ugly.
not even a clipboard. They just looked
No,
around.
just
yeah,
ugly.
and they weren't going to let. There's no way we were getting in.
No, I had no business in the gas lamp district or
and,
gas light, whatever the hell they call it.
Jimmy Button got us in.
Was it a monster party? Like what's
Oh, it was,
going on?
it was after San Diego Supercross.
I can tell you this.
I watched
that when
Chad
they
Reed
picked-
pour vodka in his hair.
Yeah, and whoever was picking
Just for the health.
the girls, yeah, vodka's really good for your hair.
Yes.
Whoever was picking the people to come in had a type,
Sure.
and 9 out of the 10 human beings
Or
in
9 out of
that
10
place
were Pamela Anderson.
9,
Just- it was-
10. They were all 5'8" to 5'10", blonde hair, blue eyed. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
You're like, how is there this many of them in one
It was a
spot?
Because they were
Herd.
hand selected.
A herd of beautiful
But
women.
that sucks when that brown haired.
Hey, where are you from? Is what I felt like. I'm
Yeah.
just wearing a
Yeah.
hoodie or something.
Check us out.
You like LBZs? Stupid.
You like him riding pants over the boots?
Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so Jimmy's going to be on. We have the NFL draft. I know that's of no consequence to you guys, but I'm just wondering how many Wasserman Media Group athletes they have, and I want to kind of pick his brain with that. And
That's kind of a big machine, right? I mean,
Huge.
Wasserman is like a serious machine.
for sure. They handled Jet Lawrence.
It's funny to me though. So yeah, that's Jimmy. That's him. But for me, the thing that stands out like the most, he had some incredible results as probably national number 10 on a Yamaha, a blue Yamaha.
Correct.
And
Some
At
great
maybe
rides at
McGrath.
Washougal. I think he split motos with MC and maybe won that one. I just remember some
yeah,
great
remember
rides.
that? Yeah,
that was
yeah.
a great ride.
And then he was,
And he was supposed to be like a number 2, and I'm like, bro, you're like beating this
You're like
guy. You're
winning
supposed,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool. What do you think if I win a little bit? No, I don't
Yeah.
think so, bud.
yeah. I always thought he was incredible on a motorcycle.
Great form,
He was
tall,
stylish,
which was my favorite, and I
tall
love that
and
style.
lean, dude. That is
yeah.
how you're supposed to look on a motorcycle, which is the opposite of me. You know, it's like I don't
Low
look like
center
that.
of gravity.
Jake goes, "Hey man, I got some cool shots of you," and I'm like, "No, you didn't." Because I would look like Jimmy Button if they were cool shots, right? I mean, you'd be long.
When you
and
watch the
lean.
video, you're like bummed. Like Nick, they actually did Nick right. They
Nick
slowed
looks-
everything down
yeah.
or did whatever really artsy shit.
well, and Nick rode good,
and the
that
form
day.
was good. Like
Yeah.
probably the best year ever.
Yeah, I'm
ever.
never going to look that, and I didn't look that good in person. Like,
Don't
that
matter.
Well, so where Jake would slow down for me, it'd be out of a turn, hooked in a rut up the face of a jump. So the bike will rebound to the other direction because you're turning as you go up the face. Sort of in the air and the back end's going the other way. It's like,
Yeah.
man, this ain't cool. Like, why are
Real
you
cool.
recording me, man? Just don't.
You got Nick, and you don't even think about the fact that he's getting beat off the line by an XR. It just looks badass. But Nick ultimately
Oh,
puts it
but
down
he-
and takes off.
he
He
got
smokes
it.
the guy. But it's just you look. Is that an XR 5000? Because that thing goes.
XR
It looks like it's about to take like out of the orbit.
It
like,
was a
take off.
19 horsepower machine.
But it looks
that
like this guy
somehow
could. It just exploded out from under his.
their launch of that
Yeah, the launch.
all 19 horsepower
No
at
start
one time.
devices to be found on the
Heck,
property.
this is the first bike I've ever had without start hook. You
Right.
know, it's like, what am I doing? Who am I? Because I always, it's like one of the first things,
Yeah.
graphics, whatever tire you want.
Start, change
and then
sprockets.
all the stuff. And I didn't do any of it. I just got the thing and started riding it.
Well, check our. They do have a YouTube channel. Jake's been hard after it. All of our shows are on that. Our Instagram's pretty cool. He puts a lot of cool stuff. A lot of giveaways. They give away jerseys, Pierce Brown's pants, and other people's jerseys.
Yeah, jerseys.
That's cool.
Super
So
cool jerseys.
check that out. And I want to kind of point everybody into the direction of that Verb Prospect app. I know that kind of. I don't know if you guys even saw it, but while
don't know.
while I was out in Vegas, they launched the Verb Prospect app, which
Oh, I do know. About
baseball
this.
already has it, dude. It ranks riders based on where you've raced, the degree of difficulty. They'll give you more
Yeah,
points
if you got a packed gate or something.
well, if it's a packed gate, one thing. If it's a packed gate with 10 of the top whatever people in there, whatever the degree of difficulty gets higher, you get more points.
Okay.
And then they track your laps led, average moto finish. There's that thing right there. I just saw it today. It says riders near you, and it shows Grant Hoffman. It shows Owen.
I had a
Strawn.
hard time. I searched Nicholas Sugarballs Blackman.
That did not show
I
up.
had to message them and say, "Hey man, make sure you
Yeah,
get
Sugar Balls in it.
I mean, I should be on there from when me and Mike Brown raced.
I would think so. Yeah, I mean, how would that help Nick's power
It
ranking?
would,
Yeah.
I mean,
He saw Mike Brown on the track a lot more than
you'll see
something.
it.
Yeah.
Go play with the app though. Download it.
I saw him 2 times
Find
in
your
one
rider.
race.
Yeah, whenever he's like, "Hey, Mike, again."
So what do you?
You're
see
doing
this-
good, Mike.
What do you see this being used as? Like a potential sponsor guy might say, "Hey man,
I mean,
this dude's like leading the ranks." of his-
Baseball has it, and parents drool over it. Like you get a ranking from Perfect Game, you then show college coaches. Yes, it'll help for that. And this thing is the features of this thing going forward, like OEMs. Like we were talking to Randy from Michelin, and he goes, "So you're telling me it logs every lap you ride, every time you ride, so it's basically an hour meter. So you're telling me I can start reaching out to these people and say, hey, you're about due for a tire. Hey, you're due for clutch plates.
Yeah.
That's the real beauty of your shop getting involved. You following this shop, that shop following you. Now it knows how many times you've ridden. You need a tire, you need clutch. Probably should look at this. Like it's very intuitive.
The metrics are insane, right?
They're probably using 10% of it.
Yeah, they're scratching
And it
the
was
surface.
a soft launch. And there's anybody that's ever raced from back all the way from 2010 or 12 or whatever on trackside, it automatically auto-populated
coming from the
170,000. Yeah, it's
transponders.
all from transponders and AMA finishes. It's pretty wild.
That is wild.
And when I was out at Vegas, it shows all the tracks near you, live qualifying for 15 races that were happening, timing. And if you're like Nick going to a qualifier, I wonder who's going to this qualifier. Well, guess what? It'll show you who signed up. It shows your road to Loretta's, shows you where you're at in that process, shows you who's going to be your qualifier. If you want to go to another and avoid that, dude, I mean, there's a lot of strategy that can be put into this from the rider side to the bike side, from a track side. Like if you follow our event, anytime I do any type of promotion, I can say, hey man, 2-for-1 deal tonight for one, whatever. And it'll blast out to all the people that have followed my event, and they can sign up for it and
Oh,
register.
wow.
So it's going to be great for tracks. Oh, and I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just excited for how it all works.
Sounds like a
And
useful tool.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be really cool. I think so. Check it out, Verb Prospect. Download it. It's free. It's an app, and then you just kind of find yourself. Claim yourself is what it says. Claim the rider, and then you go and it'll automatically dump your average finish, all laps led, all these graphs and.
Well, I guarantee you're going to be in there just because I told Wes I need to have Nicholas Sugarballs Blackman.
He'll
I've already
find you.
claimed a bunch of riders. I'm trying to
He's
sell
Jeremy
their
McGrath.
shit back
he's,
to them.
he's getting in early, right?
Yeah, he's going to sell it
It's
back
like
to
a domain name back in '98.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I'm motocross.com.
You better grab that domain name. Anthony D'Amico told me that one time. I took his advice.
What was it? What domain was it?
WatkinsErosion.com.
When was this? What
You
year?
grabbed
did
it.
I would say
Early 2000.
03. Yeah, I would guess 03 to 04.
I feel like
Dang.
you owe him a commission now.
Something.
Well, I mean, I paid him. He told me he didn't just say it to grab it. Then he built me a website.
Oh, all right. Did he really?
Yeah, he did. And then, eventually I had one of my crew leaders just kept saying, I can do this, I can do that. And I'm like, yeah, right.
And he did
You're
it.
running a crew. And then he
Hey, speaking of
Techno-wizard.
events that you should do, you need to do our race. You need to put it on
The
the map.
Great Escape,
The Great
October
Escape.
17th,
Is it
18th?
19th, 20th, 21st? Maybe
Okay.
it might be a couple days later than it was last
It's in
year.
October.
It's the third
It's in
week of
October.
October.
Let's look at it. Let's go ahead and make sure.
It ain't nothing for Kevin to pull up
The Great Escape, you are right. It's 17, 18, 19. October
I feel
17th,
so redeemed.
18th, and 19th. We haven't really worked out what we want to do. Like, there's a possibility of a team race on Friday evening and then go into our bonfire band Friday night. And then we have vintage heavy, a lot of modern support Saturday, flip it over, modern heavy, vintage on Sunday. College football that night. It's all grass track. Track's already done. We
Maybe
did all
able to
that
get the
stuff.
mini moto in this time.
Maybe we should, because we're going to start this thing on time.
Yeah.
We will have the fireball.
That will free it all up.
It will. That's
Starting at
hours.
Hey,
Yeah,
8 o'clock practice or
we'll just be
8:30.
better prepared.
Yeah, we'll be locked in.
Yeah.
We'll have more parking, which was awesome to kind of it wasn't, we weren't there yet, but like we could see the need for, let's go ahead and fill that front lot up. And it's exciting. Like it's all for charity. So it's I love doing it. And the vibe was beyond amazing because it was a charity. Like people got laps cut. A lot of things that would have pissed you off at a race, honestly, if we're
Oh,
being
they
completely
should have
honest,
been
we started
some
late.
storming,
I would have been
dude.
pissed, but the fact that it was all for charity, there was no trash left.
Yeah.
And I've told people
Dude,
that
I'm
they're like,
talking-
"Oh, really? No, like a 5-gallon
No,
bucket.
I'm talking looking. Oh, I bet it was
It was
less.
maybe just a little tiny kitchen trash
was
bag.
nothing.
And there was nothing left. I'm like, that just didn't make sense. Anyway, we were on the family's property, Andy and his family, who graciously let us come in there and turn this place into the biggest track in Georgia for 48 hours. And we turned it right back
Right
over
back to a farm.
to them and a farm. And
Yeah.
we're going to do it all over again. You're going to build a gate. You're already,
Yeah, if Rhett was not involved in the CDL
Yep.
school,
I know it's
she
coming
would be
along, though.
completely done.
but it's heavy duty. It's a beefy
It's the
gate
nicest
that's going to
gate
stand
in
the
Georgia.
test.
It's as nice as Monster Energy Supercross, and
Yeah.
and I didn't realize how janky a lot of gates are.
Correct.
Like Bremen's gate was built super heavy, so it didn't seem janky. I mean, you knew it was old, but it didn't. It was built well.
It wasn't rusted. It was just heavy as
just
a
heavy.
mother.
Well, you go to these other tracks, dude.
You'll
they
bend
don't-
the
they
shit
got
out of it.
90-degree, like the square
Yeah.
tube as a
Correct.
gate, and just the oddest things. Even Dade City, all their junk's so rusted out because it's Florida.
His is the nice.
Yeah, if I watch somebody raise the gate and they can do it with one arm, I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Our gate, I remember a 40-man gate at Bremen was for me to do it by myself, it had to be cleaned and perfectly straight, and I'd have to almost take a couple steps running this way, spin my body all the way around, and one
then
motion, put my
yank on
feet
it.
on the start doghouse where I'm pulling back, and I couldn't do that all night.
Like a
no
pole
way.
vaulter.
There's two
Yeah,
people that
he
had
was
to raise the
basically
gate.
a pole vaulter.
The card guy would have to help you raise it. You push it to him, he'd turn around, y'all both pull it back.
Well, I saw you sent me that video for the winch situation. I have no idea how to manufacture that yet, but I will.
Yeah. I just wanted to show you kind of whatever I had seen out there. But anyway, we'll have our own starting gate that we borrowed one last year from Joel from Big Springs, and we won't have to do that.
Yeah.
That'll be the only dirt last year, that was really the only dirt that really got moved around was grading that starting line.
God, it was like we cut 8-10 feet on one
How
side.
many hours, like between you and Kyle, just that
I
start?
did 12 on the dozer, so Kyle did more than that because I left.
Does that blow
Monday.
your mind? Like just that little,
Yeah.
We
like
would
when
have
you-
done better to have like a track hose sitting there flipping dirt to the dozer because I could have really got all that.
Love track hose.
Yeah, he does love.
he
some
loves
track.
RV hookups, dude. Like,
You got a track hose or
An
RV hookup?
Dude.
Shit.
Yeah, it gets all kind of greasy.
and then you got those meet and greets that you went to. That's
that
nearly
was
as
in
cool as
France though. When you've got a meet and greet and you're like, God dang, man.
I posted that. So John's itinerary
Meet.
when it was MEAT.
Meet and
It was a
greet.
meet and greet. I'm like, what the
Dude,
hell
they're
is
gonna-
this?
you just go in there and they just
Find
just
some
come
meat
in
and
with
get
their
on
meat
it, dude.
sticks and
Fucking
just
aggressive over there in France.
Meat
they
huh?
start
sticks.
stabbing their meat
Yeah.
sticks at you. It's
There
a
it
meat,
is.
and we'll greet you as soon as we get done meeting you.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Jason Crane. He works for Verb. He does great video work, and I think he does one of those housewife shows on HGTV or one of those entertainment shows. He literally
Are you
edits
serious?
all the stuff
Oh,
for
okay.
TV. You
Thought
see
he
it.
was like on it. I'm
No, but he
thinking,
lives
man,
he lives in Hermosa Beach or whatever. So he told me how much he pays for rent for like 37 square feet. It's like $3,000.
very
I'm like,
scary, right? The
Oh, my
cost
God.
per foot is gnarly.
but he says, dude, I can look out and see Dennis Rodman high on meth, like roller skating
It's-
somewhere on the
He's
beach.
brushing his teeth with a bench grinder, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's worth it, baby. But anyway, what's up? Jason was, I got to hang out with him at that Verb race. Good deal if you guys want to come do that. If you didn't do it, I would highly suggest you go there. A lot of talent there, a lot of
World
top
Mini
flight.
GP, you're saying?
Yep, same World Mini as 1972.
That thing is old. It's an old race.
1972 was when they started it after
Is that Henriksen or?
Ron Hendrickson, who was the NMA, was World Mini, was Ponca, all the stuff.
God, he's like a trailblazer. Dude.
He was. There was no mini bike race.
1972,
There was
it's
no mini bike race. They didn't give a crap about mini bike riders.
No.
So after the GP, the World GP came to Indian Dunes, he went and asked the owner. He goes, "Hey, can we do a little race for kids? They don't have anything going on, and this is I'm going to make it my version
You
of the
just
story."
paraphrase. It don't matter about.
And they're like,
facts.
"Well, here's a little place over here on Indian Dunes property, which Kenny Alexander's family ran."
we'll put two. Oh,
from
okay,
Fast
yeah, full
House.
circle. We'll put two cones over there.
And they
Two
ran
boys.
their little their little GP. They call it the World Mini, and they call it the GP because of the GP that just happened there. So now the next year they moved it back to the proper track, and had rave reviews. It went to Indian Dunes. I think it went to Glen Helen, and then where it landed
I mean,
somewhere
it
in the
was
Vegas,
Vegas,
area for a
yeah,
long time.
for a
That's what
long
I remember.
And that old track was like so blown out.
yeah, in the pit, and it was
I
just
think Mesquite's nice, right?
Mesquite is nice. And Gary Bruff, they run the RMX series out in Utah,
Dude,
Idaho.
His kids are fast, right?
The Bruff kids, dude, the
They're
three
like-
brothers.
Oh, there's three of them.
The three brothers, the slowest brother, got 23rd at Glen Helen at the GP.
Oh,
so of all the
God.
brothers, there's nobody.
Against the Euros
no
and-
Bruffs ever gotten points. They've all gotten and one of them finished 4 seconds behind Preston Kilroy at 26 years old. I'm like, why are you not doing nationals? Those kids are all super talented, man.
Did Preston demolish everybody? Was he like the number
He
fastest?
was the guy,
number
but they
one?
were 4 seconds behind the Bruff. All the brothers.
Yeah, but to only be 4 seconds back.
Off a number 80, dude, it's a badass, but So we're like, all the brothers came up there to have a beer after the race, and I'm like, so who's the oldest? He goes, me. I said, who's got the best finish? They've all gotten like 21st or 22nd.
Oh, so they're right there.
And he's got
on
a
the points.
23rd. I said, but wait, he got a 23rd at a GP with Euros and Americans. So his degree of difficulty is way better than yours. He's fast, bro.
He's the fastest, yeah.
That was my whatever. But they were all super nice, polite, just hard ass working family, and they run everything by the minute there. Race starts at 8:15, 8:20, and it's by
See,
the
and
minute.
I like that. I like the idea of that. You know, you'd have to be timed motos or whatever.
They are, every one of them. Gary
I
sits
try
up
to
there
think
and-
about that for the Great Escape. Is there any way
Sure
to
you
do
can.
it? Because
You just
some
go
of
out
those
there and-
dudes are so slow.
But they
or
build
whatever.
that in. They build it in. Like it may finish, and he goes, "I
Yeah.
will not start the next moto."
Yeah, that's
So
right. You got
we started
you don't waste
at the
3
time.
minutes or whatever
Correct.
till the next one.
But you know when it's going to be finished. We finished at
yeah.
our last moto was at 4:30 every day.
Right.
Finished up whatever, and
I love
water
that.
trucks are out there.
I also love, and I know you
And we
probably,
can do it.
You can't do it at like this race or whatever, but I like mini bikes on Saturday, big bikes on Sunday. You're done by 2:30 or 3 o'clock. Do we really need to race both days? I know as a young kid, they probably want to, but as me, as a 50-year-old, I don't care. One day's fine. I'm good with that. I got
Right.
things to do. You know, it's like, I would love that schedule.
Well, it's awesome, like with Mammoth, because you're all big bikes on that weekend. We're there,
Yeah, it's just vets.
and then
Then it's just mini
everything's
bikes.
finished by 3:30, 4 o'clock.
It is awesome. I don't know how you would structure our race to
I don't
work
know
with
that you can.
vintage and modern and mini kids and modern guys that are riding both days. If you
wouldn't.
want to ride both days, you ride both days. Simple as that. But
and it helps financially to not do it the way I'm saying.
yeah, because you will have
I'm
more people.
killing entry fee
Correct.
dollars, right?
Yeah.
But I just
But from a cool event standpoint, I get that. Come
Yeah.
in, get out.
come in, do your motos, and you're done by 2:30.
Who wants to wrap up? 3 days in
But
October.
we
but-
could get started early enough to be done by 3:34, and then start the other festivities.
The main thing is that
Absolutely.
practice
There's
has to start on
no
time.
excuse why if we don't start at 8 o'clock, we're done at 4 or 5 each day, and you have plenty of time to not rush and whatever. So
Yeah, we got everything pretty much done in like 6 or 7 hours.
What if we just lied about who's going to be there? Like we checked into it, and we may have Billy Idol coming or Leonard.
Yeah, I
Skinner.
think lies. That's like a really good business strategy.
something
to
just
lie about-
happened. Hey, I
Based
can't
on-
control what Billy Idol does,
Yeah, we can't help it. He canceled.
He said
You
he was
build it-
coming.
You build the foundation out of all lies.
and then just
Yeah. Bruce Springsteen's going to be there.
build
You're
a
the boss.
foundation of lies, brother.
Yeah,
The boss is.
we're
coming.
doing the Country Music Awards at our race.
Yeah, that's
And the
where-
NFL draft is coming to our race.
Yes.
And the slam dunk contest
does
for no
make
reason,
sense.
just one basketball goal. We're having a slam dunk
Mike
contest.
Tyson's fighting.
We just
All
need to
this
grab
shit's
a
happening
piece
there.
of
I'm
these
serious,
markets. I can
It's Sportsapalooza.
Could we really? I bet we could really get one of those like like the Rough and Rowdy or like the Backyard Brawl. Like
Oh, the
where they
miniature wrestlers.
have-
The,
no, where they
mini-
just have those fights where they
micro
have these redneck people
oh, where
fight
they
each
talk
other.
shit. They're like 100 pounds.
Yeah, like
I bet they do it for about $100 a piece too.
oh, I assure you, they're not getting any more than that. Period.
we need
Dude.
to fight. We
These,
do need
and they
it.
have these women. I mean, these methed out
Count me
women
in.
just
dude.
go out there and just beat the shit out of each other.
Wouldn't you love to watch that? I would absolutely. I'd love to watch it, and I would much rather commentate it.
Kevin,
Oh, yeah.
Kevin would
Oh,
have
yeah.
the commentary.
God dang.
ready.
Yes.
Oh, me and Nick could do that shit. in a
Yeah, that'd be
heartbeat.
awesome.
Yeah, that would be.
Well, Nick, what seems to be his strategy here? I think getting his ass whooped is his strategy here, and being high as shit is
Well,
his.
Cotton.
That's a bold strategy, Nick.
He's waiting. The tide's going to turn as soon as he gets tired of beating his ass and can't pick his arms up anymore.
He won't be able to hit him much longer. His hand's got to be hurt.
Yeah, you know he's in pain right now.
Who, the guy getting hit? Yeah,
Yeah,
and the dude,
and the
his
guy
hand,
doing the
dude.
hit.
This is very
Could you
most
imagine
people
just
don't
an
think about it.
outdoor venue with
under the lights with some string lights? Fuck yeah, I can.
And put
Excuse my
mayonnaise all
language.
You
over
know,
the competitors
the
so they're
problem with
shiny.
that is
Okay.
though, like
Mayonnaise.
Yeah, like
boxing.
Hellman's. It'd be like Hellman's boxing
Here's-
challenge.
So when you get hit, it
Here-
just blasts
Be
it off their
iridescent a
face.
little
here's the problem with that because
What, mayonnaise?
you would draw
Is
no
it really picking apart this? Like, there's a problem with
Oh, here's
mayonnaise
the problem.
boxing.
You got
No.
that theory's got a whole
Mayonnaise boxing. There ain't
I don't have
nothing
any
wrong
problem
that.
with the event. Here's the problem: is the people that attend the event. So it'd be cool if it was just all our motocrossers because it'd be hilarious.
They
right?
gonna hear about it in damn Harrelson, and they're coming for it.
Well, then when you get all the other people that come there, you'd have so many fights in the parking lot, and so many like they get all jacked up
Oh, we
watching
got the
some.
family
I
section over here.
could have whooped his ass. And
Well,
then
get
they
in there,
all
Mike.
fighting.
Go on.
Yeah, and then
Give
some
that boy
dude-
some mayonnaise. He's talking junk.
He done lost
I remember
his house 'cause
years ago when we were doing the stunt show at Six Flags. They had a UFC event in Birmingham, and so like Lance and I don't know if Sean went.
Shahan.
A couple guys, yeah, Lance Shahan. A few of them were going, and they're like, "Come on, let's go watch this UFC fight in Birmingham." Right? And I said, "There's no way." Like, and I was a UFC fan. I was like, "I'm not going to a UFC." They were like, "Why?" I said, "Because in the parking lot, it's going to be a free for all.
Yeah. They're
Like-
going to be so amped up they can't hold back.
You're
right?
going to people just getting their ass beat everywhere in the parking lot, and I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, there's no. I don't want to spend the night in jail or
Yeah.
get the shit beat out of me in a parking
It
lot.
seems cool on the finish line jump at Houston that there's
the-
just a huge brawl, but not in a parking lot
That's
in
right.
Birmingham.
At
You know
the
what I mean?
and I don't want to spend the night in a Birmingham jail over.
So one time, the monster truck
Wait
crowd is.
well, I guess we're not doing it, y'all. And if we're not doing it because of
Can't have
him,
Matt
I'm okay.
Boxing.
Not like I'm the voice of reason. Sure.
I
fuck
know
it,
of
let's
all
go.
the people.
Nick's finally talking.
Nick just talked us out of mayonnaise boxing. That's a
Well,
bunch of crap,
so
dude.
that-
Sorry, Andy.
The monster truck world is similar to this fight in the parking lot kind of
Yeah.
thing. So one year when Gravedigger and Goldberg were like the
Jump.
two trucks that were always winning the monster truck thing.
Oh yeah.
We went. We all we just dressed up like big rednecks, mullet wigs, and all this junk. Well, afterwards, we're walking out in a huge crowd, and the dude with me goes, "Graveberg can smoke Gold Digger," and like he said it backwards, right?
Right.
So, and all these dudes
Hey!
they immediately pissed. They were like, "Bull, he can't," and all this. And then we're waiting at a stop at a crosswalk, and it says, "Don't walk." And he goes, "I can outrun anybody here." He gets them all mad. He gets them all mad about Graveberg
Sounds like the
versus
belly
Gold
flop
Digger.
contest in Nashville.
And then when that thing said walk, dude, he took off running down that road.
Where
and
you
I bet
at?
90 rednecks chased him.
Really?
Because they were like,
Bullshit. He's in boots,
I can
brother.
outrun him,
If I wasn't in these areas, I'd have
You
beat
don't
his
talk
ass.
about-
They're just like
Graveberg.
dogs, man. With like a dog will chase. Like
What?
if you
You run?
like if you stand there, a dog won't chase you. You run, you're fucking
he's
chased.
coming.
You know
Yeah,
what I
he's
mean?
on.
Like,
Hey, I on my way out to Vegas this past weekend.
like a bear.
I watched these two guys that are next to me. This one guy, I'll show you his picture. I was like, in the thing, he was asleep. He was kind of Hispanic or
flies.
Oriental with a purple.
Hispanic or Oriental.
I don't know,
Asian.
or Asian, probably, yeah, Polynesian. But he had a purple, fluffy kitty cat hat and dressed with fur. I mean, dude was wild looking. The next guy to him was kind of normal, but he kept watching wrestling. He was like, he was
That
watching
bowing up at the
wrestling.
screen, like bucking at the
He
screen.
brought his own laptop, buddy. I mean, the other dude next to him woke up. He's like,
Yeah, way to
I
go.
can tell you, maybe I've got a family genetic thing that when you said watching wrestling, they get fired. I'm sure a wrestling match like a WWE thing is the same way, right? Probably fights and shit.
Well,
people
the
pile
reason-
driving each other in
versus
the parking lot.
Gold
the reason exactly the reason I bring this up is I get off at the airport and all I hear was "Bah, bah, 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 bah." In the airport. It's John Cena's freaking wrestling song.
Yeah, but-
I'm like, what the hell is going on? Well, freaking I keep going now. I have no idea. I haven't put all these context clues together. There's a freaking blimp over the big Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play, and I'm like, man. And then I see this thing that says Dallas Page. I'm like, what is happening here? And I see 2 seconds later, I'm a diesel, where's my bag at? Whatever. And I'm like, and my buddy goes, bah, 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 bah. I'm like, what is happening here? He goes, fucking WrestleMania. They hadn't had it here in 30 years. It was packed with people. The whole, I mean,
And
the theme, the
DDP
whole
shows
city was.
Did you see DDP? He's a
I
nice-
saw down. Yes, I was 3
he's a-
feet from him. He's on my
a
flight.
Nice guy.
What was it like to see Diamond Dallas Page?
Did you talk with him?
Hell no, that dude's scary as hell looking right
You
now.
could have said that you knew me.
What if you
Really?
and,
Would he know? See,
what if you and Ben were there?
hi there, Mr. Page.
He
Notice
let me tell
you're
you.
late for your steroid
So it
shot.
was WrestleMania weekend, and we kept
Dude,
playing
you could have been epic people
the
watching.
whole weekend. Anytime anybody went, I was playing it over the PA the whole
Can
time.
you imagine? Like I'm sure the WWE parking lot gets full of fights and shit.
They were.
I'll tell you why.
packed, dude.
Probably why I think this.
Probably tons of grandmas there.
Okay,
too.
so-
grandmas love wrestling.
I have my granddad that I never met. My dad's dad. Right.
Oh yeah,
So he died before I was born. But back in the day, there was. And
he
I'm
did it on
sure-
purpose, so he didn't want to. I don't want
I
to.
know
way
he
not
didn't
to
want-
deal
he
with this
didn't want to
idiot.
meet me. So there was a wrestler back in the day. He was like the most famous wrestler in the country at the time. Was Freddie Blassie, right? You ever heard that name?
No.
He talked. It's in an REM song because they talked about it for that man. on the
Was it a
Moon
local,
movie.
like Georgia thing?
No, he was a national guy. Like if
Ron or Ole Anderson and all
Just
that
like in the
dudes?
50s
Yeah,
or
but
something.
this was before that. This is
George
probably
the Animal?
the 50s. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. First gen wrestling.
Early first gen. Like
Okay.
this is Freddie Black. Like
Black and white wrestling.
you know the
Yes.
REM song about the Jim Carrey movie.
Yeah.
You get-
The end of the world as we know it. or
Yeah, and
something.
no, and he says, "Mr. Freddie Blassie's gone wrestling."
Oh, no,
So-
no, no.
Yeah, and it's
Oh,
Man on the
Eddie,
Moon.
can you hear
It's
me?
Man on the Moon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
and so the movie was called Man on the Moon. Anyway, so my uncle and my dad took my granddad to a wrestling event in Rome, Georgia. Right.
Up at the forum.
So
Guarantee you.
Up at the forum.
you know, everybody back then thought wrestling was real, right? I mean, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings if
What?
but
Santa Claus is
Don't
real,
ask,
though.
Kevin.
So-
don't ask.
I ain't.
they thought it was real. So they had Freddie Blassie there, and then they had a shill in the crowd, like the part Sean Duke played, that would start up, and then Freddie Blassie grabs his guy and starts beating his ass.
Kurdowski?
Right? So
Sean Kurdowski.
he grabs the shield out of the crowd and starts beating his ass. Well, my granddad says he's going to take up for him, whips out his knife and starts running for Freddie Blassie.
Dang, son.
And like they had to put him out and almost put him in jail, took him out with security.
Hey, good for you. Hey, speaking of like stepping up for
save the
people,
world.
did y'all see that post I put on Facebook? These people are, I like Verb Moto threw a video up of this kid named Dozer. He's 13 years old and he's kind of a,
Is Dozer his real name or is that his nickname?
no, it's Tyke or something like
It's
that, but they call him the
Caterpillar.
Dozer
His
or
name
whatever.
is D4.
But he's like he's a bigger kid.
Husky.
On an 85. Kid rips. He's probably going to make Loretta's. But they post a video and they're hyping this kid up. So they throw it up and like 200 comments later, these people are like, oh, way to go, fatty. I'm like, what are you?
Oh, so I couldn't see the picture. I saw that you posted
Yeah.
this, and I did read the comments. So I
Freaking
picked up that the
adults.
kids. He's,
Adults. I found the one dude. I'm like, you got a daughter his age, man. You're a douchebag
Yeah.
for saying that. So whoever CJ, whatever, who the hell you were.
tell us how it is, Kev.
Oh man, I went.
But there is no excuse for it.
No, you're.
Especially
oh, way
if
to
the kid
go.
could wax a lot of people making.
He could
these
wax
comments.
anybody that made that comment.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean that was
That kid
standing. Like,
waxed
why would
me.
you
We
say
talked
that about a
about this
kid?
somewhere.
It's a freaking kid.
Fast people don't make comments like this. Typically,
No.
it'll be some
They
novice
say,
keyboard warrior.
way to go,
doing it.
fatty. Duct
It-
tape his mouth
typically,
short.
but then you have
Shut.
every now and then you have somebody like Keith Turpin that wants to get on the internet and make fun of a man's haircut.
Well,
Shit like
that's-
that.
Well, that's where the Shane Alleys of the world step in. And
Yes, and they take over. Got
But-
nothing but positives. on
long
that
story
Shane
short,
Allen.
man, screw those guys. And if you're out there talking shit about kids,
Hey,
I just couldn't
hey,
get behind
A
it.
kid that's actually going fast, I don't care what they look like. You can't judge that. We got waxed, or
Okay,
I
ju-
got waxed by Jeff Killian,
Put
who
it-
was basically was Dozer's granddad.
Put it into perspective. Like your kid is like, oh man, Verb just did this thing. That's cool. And then he starts reading the comments.
Yeah.
How's that kid feel?
you got to
He's
keep him out of those comments.
Oh, it's awful,
And you
man.
shouldn't have to.
Shame on you, dude. You suck.
It should be positive, right? I mean, it's just unfortunate.
What are you doing like at all?
Did they think Verb did it as a joke?
No. Nope.
Well, that's
they were
the
not
saddest
making
thing.
fun
the
of
kid
him.
does rip. He hauls ass.
He's probably going to make Loretta.
And he's
I've
big-
seen him
hey,
for 2 years now.
he's big
Great
boned.
form. He's great form.
Little
He
big
doesn't get
boned.
tired. And people were like, "Oh, I bet the biscuits and gravy run out after lap 3." I'm like, "What are you doing,
Hey,
dude?"
that was Marty Tripes. I mean, we're sitting there going, man, in 72, Marty Tripes looked like a man. He was
He looked like he
16
was
years old.
36 years old.
He
Yeah,
did.
he's like 19, probably.
but
little
he's one of
pudgy.
those dudes. He didn't
Yeah.
look like he could do it.
Yeah, but he got the job done for
But
sure.
obviously, homeboy grabbed Hannah's
Well,
attention multiple times and beat
Y'all
him.
suck.
I
man.
like the idea of Dozer being a little heavy and like, especially if he's a funny kid.
And he's
That
wearing
shit
blue
weird.
jeans, and he does it now. It's a shtick. He wears blue jeans because I mean they don't.
He
wear,
races in blue jeans.
Blue jeans.
See, I couldn't
which
see the
means
picture.
he's got a sense of humor. And
Yeah, and he gets it. He's got a mullet. Like he's whatever. He ain't, I'm sure he's thick skinned and all that shit. And he's probably gonna grow up to be about. And his dad's exactly what you'd imagine. If he saw those comments, you'd say that to his kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you imagine being in a track?
Nobody
Oh,
would say it
nice
to his
ride,
face.
fat ass.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you would get pummeled.
Nobody would say it to his
Hey,
face. That's
the kids his
stupid
age
part.
don't say it to his face. Because let me tell you something.
He will beat your ass and then
athletic,
eat you.
hey, an athletic, chunky kid will beat your ass.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen that
100%.
a million times where people like that thought they were going to pick on a heavy set kid.
Wrong.
Shit, they got weight, son.
Yeah.
They got weight classes for a reason.
Yeah, screw
Yeah.
you, dude. I'm not a fan of that. I was
Yeah,
just
I didn't realize what was going on. But
adults were posting it, and I went and clicked on their page. I'm like, you got a 12-year-old daughter, dude.
yeah,
And you're talking shit.
Wouldn't
about
you
a
like to
kid.
do like in they did it in Jay and Silent Bob movie, like you travel to their house and open the door and you're like, "Are you CJ so and so and so?" Yeah. Bam.
Clonking
That's
in
from
the face.
Dozer.
Yeah.
Dozer said,
Suck it, dude.
So
Like,
is Dozer from Nevada? Is he
California. I think he's
from
the California kid. I'd love to see him at Mammoth. I'm surprised he hadn't been there. I haven't seen him there. It's not that far.
What if we like create a way for Dozer to like fast track to the big leagues? Because it sounds like the kid can already ride.
Yeah. I thought
What
that
if he
same
just
thing.
teed up a few opportunities
Oh,
and Dozer
absolutely.
makes everybody look stupid as
And
heck?
he's
Yeah.
and it wouldn't be hard to get behind him. You'd be like, all right, we can get some motor. We can get Jamie from Twisted About. Jamie would probably jump. He probably knows the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably does his motor for all I know because
Hey, did he race out there?
didn't see him.
He raced somewhere.
Didn't see him.
Somewhere. I saw a picture
Jamie
of a dude
Ellis?
with a helmet on, and I'm looking at those eyes. I'm like, this dude looks familiar. Who is this? And then I couldn't
Was it
figure
Ja-
out why it was him.
There was
I need to call and see if he's interested
I know
in
where he
doing-
was. I know exactly where he was. He was at Glen Helen at the two-stroke national champion world.
Okay.
Whatever that was happening the same day as us at Glen
I
Helen.
need to call him, see if he's interested in building my KX 200 motor.
Well, go to Florida. He's got his shop down in Florida
Well,
too.
and-
Remember down in Dade City, he's got a East and a West Coast shop.
Yeah.
So if you ever run down to Tampa, just drop that bike off.
Him or Shane Nally could do this for you.
Yeah.
What about mine? Would Shane do mine? 89?
That would be right in his wheelhouse.
Whoa.
Yes,
But
especially
he
because yours
rode
could be
the bike.
nice.
The bike that Nick's got, Shane raced that bike at Loretta's.
I got to get that back to somebody to get it
86?
fixed.
86.
That was the first 125 I ever had. Was my hand-me-down 86 from Ken. He got a brand new 87.
I had an 87.
I rode his 86.
Did we talk to you
Okay,
since we did that race? Were you gone? I melted the 125.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah,
Yep,
okay.
She
we did that.
Up. She laid down on
She
him.
she gone.
Let's give Shane. Let's give Jimmy Button a call here. He texted me. These guys are always on it. He goes, "Hey, we still doing it?" I'm like, "Yes, sir."
Well,
we are."
yeah. I
I'm
mean,
gonna test it and
we
call
like
you.
to be late. Hey, one thing we didn't have to do when you weren't here, Kevin, we didn't have to test.
I know
nothing.
because that junk probably worked first.
It worked
time.
immediately.
Stupid.
You know, and I had this guy. He's a fireman. I always hope he calls me. I'm like,
Don't do it.
That sounded so gay.
he's calling.
Hate when he does.
Oh my
So-
god!
sucks
Hold on,
so
I didn't get to
bad.
answer
No.
it.
Nope.
We gotta see, suck a skuck. I didn't get to talk.
Are you
He's
calling me now?
he's a
Oh, I
mustache.
gotta call you.
No.
He's a
I'll call
mustacheless
Jimmy.
fireman.
Yeah, he's a mustacheless fight. He's a
When,
mustache.
when Kevin, since he doesn't have a mustache, when he goes on a call,
They're like, who the hell is this guy?
ain't a fireman.
They think you're like some crackhead who just
Yeah,
joined
doing
in.
it.
like
We're
just
doing
making and running calls yourself.
Hey, if he can't hear us, that's on you. Okay,
Probably
Kevin
will.
Kelly?
I can hear him. Hey, Jimmy, just want to listen to us talk for a little while.
Kevin,
What up, JB?
just sat down at Chipotle to have lunch with Mr. Levi Kitchen.
See, we already had Levi on, so I don't want to. We don't want to interrupt your dang awesome dinner.
What are you having?
Let's see, half chicken, half barbacoa, little beans and rice and guacamole and lettuce. Pretty good.
They charge you extra for the guac?
They better not,
I don't know. Mr. Kitchen paid for it.
Oh.
Nice.
as he should.
Living the dream.
You know you're big balling when you don't even ask about the guac.
Yeah, you just order
Keep it coming.
That's right.
Just keep it coming.
Just jump into it. Yeah.
Well, welcome, dude. You've done DMXS. You've done it years back, and we were just
Yeah.
talking about you letting us under the velvet ropes at San Diego. I think 06 at the party. I don't know if you remember the little after party they had after. I think Reedy
Yes,
won.
sir.
Reed had a perm at that time. If you remember, he had curly hair. So I've got
Oh,
all
yeah.
I got all the details.
Let the vodka straighten them curls.
Yeah, he's
right?
poured vodka in his hair. I remember it wound up in his hair and his face. I'm like, this guy's getting it. He should because he won.
Aussie.
Aussie, Aussie.
That is correct. Hey, don't want to get into stick and ball sports, but Wasserman, are you guys heavily involved in football, or you do all the sports?
So I am no longer there.
You're no longer
What?
at WMG at all. What are you doing then?
No.
Doing your own thing?
Yep.
Well, let's talk
I
about
got
you
out
then.
like a year. I got out like a year ago.
Wow.
Kevin, way to go.
Way to be
Kevin.
locked in, Kevin. Well, I still want to know, does Wasserman handle, they do baseball guys too, right?
Yeah. I mean, dude, they got like Giancarlo, like
Oh.
that contract that he did when that was like the biggest deal ever. That was one of their deals.
For the Yankees.
Yeah. They got gnarly guys.
What do you think their total intake is? Like if you just added all their salaries of all their athletes, just not their take, but what like their
No,
cumulative
just total income possible.
billions.
Probably in between 5 and 8
Wow. With a B.
With a B?
Yep, with a B.
with a B. Yeah.
All right, so let's back up. Now you're no longer with Wasserman, and now who are you with? Are you doing your own thing? Just catch us up.
My own jam.
Good for you. So you've learned
Yeah.
all the ins and outs. You know how to do it right.
You know,
When you quit, did you do a big scene and go out like,
Like-
with a goldfish going, who's with me?
no,
No drama. No
I
way.
can't believe it.
No drama. It took a month and a half to negotiate my exit out of the
exit.
company.
Solid.
No medulla oblongata reference or anything like that. Hey, and I don't know how heavily involved you still are with like y'all's foundation, where we kind of wanted to touch on Jerry Robin.
I am. That's part of the reason why I did what I did, because it gives me way more time to actually be hands-on with it on a day-to-day basis. Because I'd always been kind of hands-off a little bit because I was doing so much to kind of grow the management company.
And your mom was kind of handling that, right? She was.
Yep. And she's still there 100%. We've hired some other people, and we got a good group of guys there now. But yeah, I'm the president of the foundation, so I'm making sure that the day-to-day is running the right way and making sure that we're making the right moves so the foundation can continue for the next 15, 20, 25 years, whatever it is.
Right on.
What an awesome legacy, and who better than to be the spokesperson for it? You've lived it, and man, me and Nick were talking about just Supercross, and I'm not going to just dog out Supercross because that's not what we're here for. But like the crashes that kind of happen in Supercross are usually slow and kind of more vertical down to the ground versus motocross. You kind of flip, and it just
Or you go to the face of a jump and come to a sudden stop.
yeah, it's just not as prevalent in moto as it is in Supercross, unfortunately.
Well, and that's actually the reason why, if you look at Jerry's crash from the weekend, the reason why he got hurt is because he was going slow.
Yep.
And he lawn darted in and he didn't tumble.
Yeah.
Correct.
And energy has to go somewhere. And unfortunately, when you land on top of your head, it's going to go into your spine, and it's going to exit the spine at some point. And sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't. And this is one of those situations where, luck fell on the wrong side.
Yeah.
How tired are you of making those phone calls? Because I feel like you and
Bro,
David are some of the first calls.
Yeah, I was with Mitch today, and we were talking. It's like I'm so sick and tired of like being the first phone call that everybody gets when something like this happens. And obviously, we know what to do with the foundation, but it just sucks that because you end up kind of reliving your own nonsense when you go through it with these people. So, they got Jerry and his wife, they got a tough road ahead of them. It's going to be, there's going to be days of sunlight and a lot of days of rainy, cloudy days in darkness that they got to go through. So, fortunately we're pretty well prepared to help them out and organize everything for them, with rehabs, and, we got a jet for them already. It's going to get them back out west. And so, just helping through all that. And then my goal for him is, my funding goal for him is to raise enough money to get him a home that is wheelchair accessible.
Okay.
So that's why we put the fundraising goal to $500,000, because, they don't have a house that they could do that to currently. So it's just a big expense. So I'm trying to work those angles to raise that money for them so we can, make their life as comfortable as possible, because it's going to be difficult.
Yeah. Super complicated too. And thankfully he's got someone like you that can kind of hold his hand and tell him what steps will be next and things like that. Hey, Jimmy, last week we had Paul Talblieb on for the Pay Dirt movie with Mitch Covington was on there too. And we talked a lot about your segment, man. I thought it was really well done. And I asked a question that they didn't know the answer to. And I don't want to.
And I know the question because I listened.
Okay. Was any of that true? Was there any chance where you asked the question on the side of the track? Where do I have this from?
So that medication that exists now did not exist when I got hurt.
Okay.
What I asked everybody when Dr. Bodner got to me when I was on the ground, I just told him, hey, I'm paralyzed. I know I'm paralyzed. Make sure you get my helmet off of me the right way and get me rolled over correctly.
Okay.
Don't yank on anything because I was fully coherent. But the drug that exists now, what it does is it prevents the body from sending all these proteins into the area that's been affected. Mm-hmm. And so what happens is all those proteins goes to fight this trauma that just happened to your spinal cord. And what it ends up doing is your own proteins end up killing your spinal cord. And that's actually what ends up being the trauma, unless you like cut the cord or do something like that. And so, so yeah, I mean that didn't come into existence until much later on, until like kind of mid 2000s, and quite honestly, Red Bull and Wings for Life are responsible for actually coming up with any of that stuff.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just kind of coming into existence like around the time that Jesse Nelson got hurt at Unadilla.
Yep.
Hey, go ahead and take a bite, Jimmy. We'll take just a break and let you go ahead and dig into that thing.
I'm eating the whole time, buddy.
Yep.
Okay.
You know what? It sounds like we're talking to Brad Pitt during a movie. You ever notice every movie he's like eating and
He's
talking?
always eating.
Or
I think
Tony
it's-
Yeah, like when
Soprano.
they're talking on the phone. Yeah, or Tony Soprano.
Dude,
So we go-
I woke up at 3. I woke up at 3:00 this morning and drove from Arizona over to Glen Helen to watch Levi do some testing, and so I've not had any food. And he's like, "Hey, let's go get some lunch." So
You're at
got
a
it.
I'm all
major
about it.
hours
That's
right
awesome.
now.
We were talking about that segment of the movie, and my wife doesn't know a whole lot about motocross other than I suck at it. And
That's all she needs to
That's
know.
all
so
she knows.
we were on the way over. She's like, "Well, who's on the show?" And I said, "Jimmy Butt." And she goes, "I remember that name." And she goes, "I can't really." And I said, "Well, he was, prominent in the movie." And I was kind of telling the story. And then, unfortunately, I've got a son where we had to deal with a lot of doctors through the years. And I said, when he got back on his feet, he went back in the doctor, and I told her about you, saying, "Don't ever fucking say that to anybody again." And she was all fired up about that. She loved that shit. She's like, "Yeah, like, that
inspiring.
was so awesome."
I do. I do like to curse, so it was pretty natural for me.
Good. We do too, brother.
So no judgment zone, man. You're all right.
Hey, man, I was just in Arizona at World Mini, man. They brought it back year number 2 right there in Mesquite. Did you ever ride there? Was it around?
I never rode in Mesquite. I rode World Mini, but it was out at the out by the Speedway in Vegas.
Hey, so we want to go back in time. We have probably 4 phases of your career because you've always been one of my favorite riders, and you're cool as shit, and just your style. And I like tall dudes on a bike. So
Tall dude, tall, lean.
especially
dudes.
on 80s, especially on tiny little 1986 80s, which are extra small for back in the day. So the Simpson, the whole answer deal, like. Take me back to just riding a CR80 and at the CMC Golden State Nationals, beating the shit out of Jeff Emig and just talking trash.
Buddy Antonez.
You got it.
Well, you know what's funny is I actually saw Rudy Dickinson today at the out at Glen Helen. He rode up with his son and was talking to Mitch.
Wow.
R&D.
And I hadn't seen Rudy for probably 25 years.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, back then it was Mitch building my CR80s, and it was R&D building all the Suzukis, and that was pretty much it. You know what I mean? And then you had DMC building Swinks bikes and stuff like that on Cowies, but and then you had Jeff's dad building his own shit.
Yeah.
And it was just, dude, it was Battle Central, and it was we all had Works bikes back then. And yeah, it was gnarly. I mean, it was the cool thing about our little group is we raced 60s against each other's 80s. 125s, 250s, and kind of all the way through our professional careers. And, some of us did a little bit better than others, but all of us had like pretty good careers. We all won nationals. We all won supercross races.
Yeah.
Some of us got to win supercross and motocross championships. But I think our little group was like pretty successful, as a whole.
Yeah, it's probably one of the first
throughout
big
the whole
batches because we talk about Stroop, Lemoyne, Izzy, Kennard, Dungy. They all were kind of knotted up, and you guys were probably that first wave of 4 or 5 dudes that all kind
That
of
became the
made
pro
it.
class. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and everyone stayed pretty good, and I think everyone's had like pretty good lives after their careers have been over too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've all kind of been successful in like the business world and after racing, which is kind of unique as well, which is cool.
So that's phase 1, Kevin. Mini bikes.
Phase-
What's your phase 2?
I mean, I tell Jimmy this all the time. He knows I dork out on that DGY answer get up, the number 39. That's probably Answer's best look.
Kevin must have a little album of you, Jimmy, with that number 39.
I do because my brother we
pictures just started
bought that
flowing.
gear because he's in 92 wearing it. It became available to us in 93. We go to Loretta's. Kyle had that set up, one set for Loretta's for the entire week.
Yeah, one set of gear, washing it in the creek.
It's not bad.
Correct. So anyway, that was just where I dig.
No, that was a good one. I think that year I actually wore in '92. I want to say I also had a set of pink Garenay boots to match that gear.
Oh,
God, I bet
that's
that would be
early.
cool.
Nobody was color matching that stuff. Like Coop's doing it a lot now. He's color matching a lot of stuff, and it looks So good. But just think about how stylish you guys were. That was just kind of early on in the
To be that
to be
dialed
in style and having some graphics and some gear and kind of getting away from just whatever they had at the shop.
The GUI thing was pretty cool, right? Because Mitch had just done the PC thing with Peak and all that stuff and Split Fire, and we kind of were the the Yamaha side of it. And I don't know, it was a cool little era, that's for sure.
Yeah, we actually have Jeremy Buell on next week. So we were trying to get him on. I'm like, well, I've got JB and I'll get the other JB on next week. But
There you go.
back-to-back JB weeks. And so you raced against those Peak guys. Well, where were you at in your career then? Were you still like a Honda dude or what?
No, I was on Yamaha. I was on Yamaha in '91, and we went to Houston for the first West Coast race. And Swink and them had raced the weekend before in Orlando, and then back then if you could jump a triple on a 125, like you were killing it.
Yeah.
And those fucking Peak bikes, they were so fast. Yeah. I fucking hated Mitch at the time because he didn't give me a ride on the team. I was so mad at him. But I tried to jump the triple on my YZ on my Yamaha, and I cased the triple so bad that I broke both the foot pegs off the bike.
Oh God!
And then here's these goddamn CR125s that Mitch has built that were rocket ships, and they're like jumping it and hitting the back brake in the air, landing perfectly on the downside. And I'm sitting there breaking my damn foot pegs off the bike. I broke like 3 sets of pegs off the bike that weekend.
That is incredible.
Well, let's speaking of breaking stuff.
Because if you could jump a triple back then, like you were almost guaranteed to be on the podium.
Yeah.
And now that's just an
I didn't make the
afterthought.
podium that weekend, breaking the pegs off the bike every single time I
Hell,
went
now
on
they
the
can
track.
decide 5 to 20 feet before it. If they're
Yeah,
gonna
it's,
jump.
it's not even a thought to jumping on a 250F now.
God, breaking foot
No,
pegs off.
triples now are like, that's where everybody takes a breath.
Yes, that's the rest.
Back
rest
for us,
period.
that's we were hoping we weren't going to die.
I remember that. I remember going to the hospital with my brother with his 5 teeth laid down in his mouth and his broke shoulder because he came around in practice like last turn. Here we go. I'm like, oh God. Like, it was a huge deal. Triple digit guys? Nope.
Was he on a Honda?
He was on a Yamaha.
Okay, there we go again.
Damn it, you freaking Yamahas. Hey, speaking of sawing shit off your motorcycle, I'm going to take you back to a good time. Tell me about the elevator.
Oh, Jesus, from Gatorback?
Yeah.
Oh, I fucked that bike up completely.
Did you saw the forks off that?
I got in so much trouble from the Japanese that weekend. I destroyed that bike. Like one works bike just out the window. So I was trying to pass Brooks and John Dowd, and I couldn't get the thing to shift into third gear. So I just said, "To hell with it! I'm still going to try this
Sold
thing."
it wide
Clearly,
too.
Yeah, it came up a bit short and broke the forks off and wrapped one of those like $10,000 titanium pipes around the frame. And Hide was the head of Suzuki at that time, and he came back to the truck afterwards. I mean, I could barely get the bike back to the truck, and he was like so pissed off. But it worked out. I won Daytona the next weekend, so they weren't mad at me
They
for
were
too
short.
long.
They had a short
Totally
memory.
redeemed yourself.
Yeah, I remember that.
I wasted that bike completely.
Dude,
And that's why I brought it up, because I remember those forks got sawed off. I watched it. I was like, damn, that bike just exploded. And it was so choppy coming around that lefty. And you just,
and the jump had no forgiveness.
No, you had-
you're 1 inch short.
and you make an immediate right.
Yeah,
and it's
gotta
like,
get on the brakes, but you don't know if you made it.
And then like 2 years later, Ricky jumped it on an 80, and I wanted to kill myself.
oh God,
my
you're like,
God.
man, I got to retire. I got to deal with this
This freaking
idiot.
kid. Yes.
Of course, by then it was probably like
me and MC. It was on Saturday, and me and MC drove out to Gatorback to watch the amateurs race, and this little bastard's jumping this thing, and we're like, "What the hell's going on?"
Because you know how hard you had to try, right?
Yep.
he was probably on
Yep. I mean, they did make it easier that year, but still, it's like Jesus, man.
he had a 47 horsepower 80 though, probably. Ricky at the tree
He
store.
ended up doing pretty well in his career.
Yeah, he was okay.
Yeah, turned out I'm glad he
Yeah, he
stuck
was all
with
right.
it. But I mean, you
Yeah, he
came
won
right.
a couple races.
You came back in one Daytona. I mean, like, how do they treat you guys? We talked to some of the other guys that have won it. Like, they still treat you like royalty if you've ever won that race.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool. Like it's one of my favorite. It's like one of my favorite trophies I have at the house. It's just a different vibe.
How do you whenever you talk to Levi, do you ever share with him? Do you go, hey man, there's a time where we used to do Supercross for like 9 rounds, and then we'd just take a break and ride one weekend of pro nationals and then get back to Supercross?
He was just saying he's got a pretty good story from Daytona.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, he
Let's
does
hear
have
it.
a story from Daytona.
No, let's
unfortunately.
don't talk about that.
Do not
Jesus.
relive it.
Poor kid.
Oh man,
Yeah, that was
good times.
So phase 3, Kevin. So 1 is mini bikes, 2 is DGY, 3 is I know 3.
Let's go to PJ1 now.
PJ1, such a good look.
Yes.
Loved it.
Dude, that was one of the better like bike gear combos. Even though that gear was like basically wearing like sweatpants because it was so hot.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Turtlenecks? What's the problem with that?
Just soaked in ink.
Yes.
But it looked good.
Oh, it was so striking from a distance, man. Mud races, whatever. You could always
It
find.
was bulletproof too.
You
That's
could find
pretty
them. Yeah. Yeah, I love that look.
For the Atlanta race.
Extreme gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Double's no
Yeah,
trouble. They're
it
like,
was,
man, let's make some hot ass sweatshirt material motocross gear.
Oh yeah, remember those T-shirts?
Yes.
Just girls with
we all
boobies.
had them, yeah. Everybody had them. So phase 4 is going to be
I mean, it's got to be the
blue
Chaparral
Yamaha
years.
Chaparral. Yep.
Yeah, you're the number 2
MC.
guy. Like you're shake and bake, and then
Yeah.
you're like, "Hey, Jeremy, what do you think if I win a couple races?" Jeremy's like, "Nah, man." And you're like, "Yeah, I think so. I think I'm going to win a couple."
So funny. I'll tell you a funny story about that. So my wife.
My wife.
That was a deal breaker.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, he hung up on you. Should have never said
It was a
anything.
deal breaker. You don't talk about my wife.
He's on his way here from Chipotle to kick your ass.
Oh, we're on hold.
He's bringing Levi Kitchen. He's like, Levi, suit up.
We can't just whoop some ass.
He might have hit mute.
It says we're on hold. Jimmy.
Nah, he's over you, man.
It says, how am I
He's
on
like, I got
hold?
the greatest story of all time, man. My wife.
And then
I'm calling back. I don't know how that happened, but
he hit a button. He's just talking. He
it's
didn't
Jimmy
mention-
Button.
What if Jimmy Button
hit a
accidentally
button.
hit the hold button?
Jimmy Button boy.
Or like, what if his Chipotle fell out of his mouth?
Yep. That expensive ass guacamole.
He's sitting there talking. He's like, why is Kevin killing? I'm talking to him.
Yeah. I'm talking to you right now, dude.
All I got to say is, Nick, did we have any technical difficulties last week?
No. not
Pretty
one.
cool.
What if they're in a brawl at Chipotle right now?
just fighting their way out.
WWE's
Yeah.
in town.
Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah.
And he just goes, "Is that Nick Blackman on the phone? All right, you're cool then. I won't whoop your ass."
Yeah, I'll save you from the. I'll
That's
spare
cool,
you.
bro. That's cool.
Hey, this is Jimmy. Thanks for calling. Sorry I can't get to the phone right now. Please leave me a brief message and your number, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording,
Holy
you may
cow.
hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Jimmy. This is DDP. We're calling with Kevin Kelly right now. See what?
You can't
That was a
hold
terrible
it.
message.
Can't hold the line.
We had to do it live.
Doesn't matter.
I know.
Well, at least he said everything he really wanted to say. What if he's like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna act like I'm putting him on hold."
Yeah, so I
But
can
we're
sign
got-
this.
we're outta here. We
What
gotta
if he's
go.
trying to make $10 million of like?
Yeah. What if Levi's
What if
like, "You
Levi
don't get off the
realized who
phone."
it was on the phone
Yeah,
from
dude,
his?
I'm
like-
done with you.
like,
You're
dude,
on their
He's
show.
like, "You're talking to them too? God, they
Idiots.
ruined one of my nights.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting another lunch on these clowns." It's fine. But hey, Jimmy Button. So, of all the people my wife could spot on the track, you know how you could just see somebody ride, you didn't have to see a number. A lot of
Yeah,
times
for
you
sure.
knew.
Yeah.
She always knew who Jimmy Button was. Always. And it's the way he looked. He was long, lean, had really good style. You know, it's like,
Every young man's dream.
Yep.
yeah.
Long and
Got all
lean,
them-
every young man's
Bro,
dream.
all
when
them
he was
guys
on
Turned
Right.
every head in town.
Chaparral with McGrath, though, he was freaking fast.
Yeah, he was
That
back
was
to the bone.
as good as he probably ever was on a 250.
Well,
He was
I remember
legit.
thinking like, dude, he's gonna go on a run here. Like he kept being 1, 2, 3, 2,
In the
3,
mix.
1. It was like he's gonna start winning.
another Larry Brooks disciple here.
Well, he had to race Larry Brooks. Is what it
Now he's your
sounded like.
boss.
Well, I think Larry's extremely intense.
You know, I tell you, that's something too that people today don't have to suffer through because all the motorcycles are so good that, you know, like back then in the 90s, you could get a bike that just sucked.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
did you hit a button on your phone?
Dude, no, it just went completely dead.
That's crazy.
Oh, that'll happen too. We just thought
So
you
I told
hated
this
us.
whole, I told this whole story, and I'm like, and there's no response. I'm like, jeez.
And that's all you got to say? Well, we were doing the same thing over here because you teed us up. You're like, oh, this one time my wife.
and that was it.
It went blank.
So try it again. Try it
We
again.
thought that Levi had realized who you were talking to.
It's like, dude, get off the phone.
And it was like,
Don't
dude,
waste time on these
clown.
No,
calls.
he's like, Levi's all, are you actually doing the show right now? I'm all, yeah.
That's how loose it is, dude.
he's like, I talked to those assholes a month ago.
So anyway, my wife is so Larry's my brother-in-law now, basically, and so she's a little sister of Larry's wife. Anyways,
Okay.
Atlanta was her first race that she came to, and I ended up riding like shit in practice on Saturday. Crashed a bunch, and he yelled at her for it being her fault. But
Oh, it's
that
gotta
night
be.
I led the main for most of the race, and then MC ended up getting me at the end, and kind of that was that on that one. But yeah, that's a funny little one of those, like you said, the shake and bake thing. That's a funny story on that one.
It is funny, man.
Hey, Jeremy, what do you think about me winning? Nah, I don't think so, man. I kind of like doing I like
Yeah.
the way it is.
Yeah.
But Cal Naughton
Yeah.
Button came on. He did win some races.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about some of your wins. And MC had to be like, whatever. Like, you win some, you lose some.
Oh, as much as he acted like he didn't care, like trust me,
He did care.
He wanted to win all of them. So whether I was his teammate or not, I mean, we had some good battles that year, and it was cool because I had a ton of podiums and did really well, and I think at one point we were first and second in the championship,
Yeah.
and then I had like a series of DNFs from stuff happening in first corners and crashes and stuff, but had a good year out of it, which is cool.
I can remember some mud race somewhere. I think you and him stacked it up in one turn, and you're both kind of on the ground. Where was that?
Oh yeah. That was Mount Morris.
Okay, Pennsylvania. So,
Yeah.
yeah. How fun
that
was
was
that?
on. He was on Suzuki's. I was my first year at Chaparral. Yeah, that was
yeah.
a classic one.
So what about? Did you race Larry Brooks and have him as a manager?
Yep.
And now the family.
Yep.
And
Man,
now
you can't
he's
shake this guy. He's like all in your business,
now,
dude.
Now we have Christmas and Thanksgiving together every year.
Now you just need to go full circle and like manage one of his riders and be like, "What's up?
No, you
I'm
need
back."
to. Yeah, you need to manage something.
I
for Larry.
do.
Oh,
I do. I manage Colt Nichols.
man,
Hell yeah, perfect.
it is full circle.
Jesus, man. You
Yeah,
just
so
can't get rid of this guy.
full circle with Larry's teams.
He's an intense guy, right? Like he's a ultra
Oh yeah,
competitive. man.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like it used to be. I mean, these guys like him and Mitch and stuff like that. These guys that used to just be super gnarly and would yell at you and make you cry in the semi.
right.
They're not like that anymore. They've gotten older and everyone's had kids now, and they kind of realize that you can't make everybody cry. But yeah, they're all a little softer than they used to be.
When did you meet Larry? When was the first time you met Larry Brooks?
Oh, when we were riding mini bikes, I was riding 60s and he was riding 80 Expert.
Then he introduced himself, said, "I'm Larry Brooks, and I'm going to be with you for the rest of your life."
Like, that guy's weird, man.
He's 12 years
He's
old.
13. Like, what's he talking
That
about?
was the strangest conversation with that dude.
I was trying to shoot some pool, dog. Leave me alone. I got a moto at Loretta's, man. Shut up.
Oh man, no, nothing like that. That's for sure.
God, if he'd have said that about that's the wisest man I've ever,
Yeah.
ever.
Early onset. Like
We will have a
smartness.
long career together, sir. What?
What? Okay.
Bro, I don't even know if I'm going to race next year. Like, I hate
Play
everybody.
Atari, bro. Get out of my face.
Hey, what was your relationship like with your dad in terms of like classic mini dad or kind of whatever?
No, it was good. My dad wasn't like mean or any of that stuff. I mean, he was like pretty straightforward and just just kind of just demanded that I put in as much energy and effort into it as him and my mom were putting into it. So, and I kind of recognize that. I mean, we I didn't grow up with money or anything of that nature, and they were always like working hard and struggling to make sure we got to the races we need to get to. So, I kind of recognize that we weren't we were definitely the silver spoon family, and I could see their sacrifices and everything. So yeah, the relationship was fine, and my dad's good now, and he likes to come watch my son play golf because that's what he does. So it's come full circle on the whole thing for sure, and he's way more calm now than certainly I am when it comes to my kid. I'm pretty intense with the kid on golf and everything. So sometimes I need to lay off a little bit, but I know sometimes a little mini dad comes out in me on the golf course.
Yeah.
Hey, do you have any? Do you still have any of those Simpson helmets?
I have one.
Where's that thing at?
I have one.
Post a photo of that thing. I got to see it on Instagram.
I will. I'll take a picture of it. It's in my garage. It's. I have like all my. I have like, I don't know, I think 15 or 20 of my old race helmets, and that's one of the ones I kept. I'll snap a photo of it for you, and I'll tag you in it.
Heck yeah, dude! I will die on a hill that say that Simpson helmet is as good or it's better looking to me than a Bell Moto 3.
Yeah.
Well, it's like OG Troy Lee Designs helmet too from like 1982.
Come on.
I mean, that's saying something
Yeah,
right there.
back when Troy was painting out of a garage.
Yeah.
I love it. Are you still eating right now? We're
Yeah.
still doing it?
No, I'm just drinking a Sprite out of a glass bottle.
Sweet,
Whoa.
real sugar,
Real glass is what
Yeah.
I'm impressed
Yeah,
with.
real sugar. Yeah, it's got cane sugar in
cane
it.
sugar. I like it.
My man. So where are you heading back? Are you driving back 9 hours back to Arizona?
No. I got to go. Me and Levi are going to hang for a little bit, and then I got to drive to Temecula. Got to meet up with some people in Temecula, and then I got to head to Costa Mesa tonight. I got some business there tomorrow, and then head back to Arizona tomorrow afternoon.
Dude, JB don't play around. So tell me who you help out with. Like, who are you representing?
So obviously Levi, Colt, like I said before,
Yep.
Julian, and
Yep.
I got Nick Romano, and then Evan Ferry.
Wow.
Hey, I'm going to give you a name
And
right
then-
now, and you should jump on
And then,
Holland,
I always have Bogle. He's like one of my kids.
Yeah.
even if it's free. Like, here, everything's on me. I'm going to make
Yep.
sure you can race.
Yeah, I just need you to race.
I'm going to give you a guy to go and take a look at, Holland Russell. Do you know that kid?
Nope.
Well, you should know that kid. Like, you should look into him because he just waxed pretty much everybody in Arizona. And I'm like, who is it? I'm shaking my head. Daniel Blair goes, holy cow, I don't get impressed very often. And Greg Albertson, we were all
What's
three
his
said
name?
it. Holland Russell. Ask Levi if he knows him.
Levi Holland Russell.
There you
Doesn't
go.
ring a bell.
Well, he beat the current Loretta's B champion, and they're in the same class.
All right, we'll do some research and see what this kid looks
Look
like.
him up. And you know what? Whose name came up was Levi Kitchen in terms of how he rides. So when Daniel Blair was super impressed, because we were all out at this race, we did a wrap up podcast and all that stuff. So you can get on him early and get him for cheap, like for 90% of all his contracts. Just stick it hard to him. He'll be so thankful.
Kevin. Kevin. Is
Sorry, Holland.
son.
For some reason, every time I want Jimmy to keep asking Levi questions, and every time he answers like that doesn't ring a bell. And tell Kevin to shut the hell up. Like, I just wanted to finish with everything with tell Kevin to shut the hell up.
He's in like an intense texting session with RV right now.
Oh, God.
Well, ask him about RV rolling up to the line with his kid in the 50 class, and Randy.
That's exactly what he's texting about him right now.
Good. He rolled up to the line, his kids, and Randy goes, "Hey man, RV, your kid's tire's flat." He goes, "Fuck!" So he just rips his kid up off the bike, hauls ass, and his kid's like almost crying, like, "What the hell just happened?" Randy goes, "Hey, your dad still loves you, but your tire's flat." So
And we've got to fix it
he's
really fast.
full moto dad. So
It looks like he's got like a pretty sick rig.
he does. He has
He
a
takes the
full
races.
Freightliner like motor
Oh,
home,
yeah.
full
Well,
deal.
how else are you going to haul 50s, Kevin?
I mean, to haul
you got to
250s
have
for
enough
sure.
gross vehicle
Makes
weight
sense.
rating to tote 50s.
Yeah, RV's all in,
maybe.
boys. Good luck.
Yeah.
You got to
Hey,
deal with that,
you
dude.
hey man, 5-time Supercross champion. You got to be comfortable, buddy.
Well, and that's
Absolutely.
how the Button family used to come to the races. You can
Yeah,
remember
we all
your
know.
days in the Freightliner or the.
Can you imagine what the hell that looked like? Do you remember the
It's
Beckington
like an
brothers?
apartment in there, man.
Oh yeah, I remember those guys.
The Beckington brothers were two brothers, and they're like, "Oh no, we don't have enough room. So, mom, you drive one, dad drive the other, and we got two RVs
What?
for David and Jeff Beckington."
So combined is
Yeah.
4.5
They were like
miles
Kalos
to the gallon.
Yeah, they're like the Tedders before
Early
the Tedders.
Kalos. Yeah,
Yes.
I got
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
Yeah, they have long money.
Heck, Jimmy probably saw Kalos's bus next door
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
at races.
Yeah, yeah. Me and Sean were buddies, and we rode together. And Lloyd, his grandfather, like knew him, and his grandmother Norma, which she just actually passed here not too long ago. But yeah, his grandpa still has that bus. That bus is still at his house.
That's
And
awesome.
it still runs. From what I know, I think he like still takes the thing up to the lake to go fishing and stuff.
Wow.
Fishing out of your big.
Dude, that's amazing.
It's like a Wonder Lodge or something like
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Jimmy, we're
Yeah.
going to let you get back at it, dude. Thanks for your time. I don't want to hold you
No
up from.
worries, man. Dude, it's good catching up with you guys. It's been a minute, so we're gonna have to. I might cruise out to Loretta's for a day. I don't know if I'm gonna have time because we're actually in North Carolina the whole month, right there. But for
Well,
the
Jimmy,
World Championships,
you should come.
but
Jimmy,
we might make it down one day.
Let me help you. I'm telling you, Holland Russell, come watch a moto, and you'll be like,
Okay.
good call.
You need to get that Dozer kid
All right.
too.
Get the Dozer kid.
Yeah, you need to get the Dozer
Does
kid. You
Jimmy
seen
know
this
about
Dozer
Dozer?
kid?
I saw that kid. He's huge.
Yeah, he's a huge
Yes.
kid. He
But
rips.
he goes pretty
He
fast.
was ripping. Yeah,
Yep.
he was ripping.
yeah.
rips
Yep.
good. Well, Jimmy, thanks
Yep.
for your time. Tell Levi we said sorry we interrupted y'all's power lunch, and screw you,
It's all
RV.
good, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, what's the name of your company? What's your management company?
It's called Idrato.
Idrato.
Yeah.
All right, before we let you go,
All right,
what
you
does it
gotta
mean?
tell us about that.
It's about it's the original word, the original Greek word for hydrating your mind and your body.
Hydrato. Hydrat. Say it again.
No. Idrato.
Oh, I said it
Domo
right.
Arigato, Mr. Idrato.
There
Hey,
it is.
there we
I
go.
was thinking more of Idrato, like your
Ivan Idrato.
If he dies, he dies.
Ivan Drago. All right.
Definitely. Oh, also, when we do this, we need to you need to send Kevin a
Picture.
QR code and a picture of the helmet, but a QR code so we post
To help,
this.
help Jerry
For
Robin.
Jerry.
Yeah, for the foundation, so when people can donate when we
Yeah.
post
Oh,
this
yeah.
up. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Everybody can go to roadrecovery.com,
Yep.
road to number 2 recovery.com, and they can click on either Jerry or Chad or anybody that's gotten hurt here in the last few months. Make a donation or just make a donation to the foundation. Whatever you want to do. We're working pretty hard right now with what happened to these guys the last kind of 6-8 weeks. So anything that anybody can do is well appreciated. So all good.
Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for your time, buddy.
Awesome, boys. Talk to you guys soon.
All right, see you.
See you.
I love
See
you.
ya.
Oh, that's so close, man. He wanted to say it.
Did Jimmy found Road to Recovery?
I mean, I know it's Anita, his mother, and him, and
But
I have to
is
think he
that's
was
what
a
I mean,
critical
is
part of it. Probably
is it his family, his doings?
well, we'll have to ask. I have to think, right?
I just remember he was kind of involved since day one.
Yep.
His mom was.
Yeah, probably.
They've done a lot of good.
What a
for
good
lot
dude.
of
What a
people.
great legacy to leave that, man.
Oh
to-
man, for a sport that he loved, that stung
he's still
him,
involved.
It stung him hard, and he is really the only story I know.
Did you ever hear
of.
about his crash? He's rolling through
Yeah.
the whoops. Not even
slow motion, man?
bloop.
It was like he was talking about this weekend. I mean, you just weren't going fast. You got to go somewhere.
But
dang, man.
he's the only recovery story I know of in spinal injuries. Do you know of any? Because he basically rode his bike from California to Florida.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Jimmy would. I don't want to embarrass myself and say I don't know, but I don't know.
But you can't think of something.
No,
quickly,
I mean, like
right?
Shane Lusk, I felt was somewhat
Yeah.
functioning,
Yep.
but
Yeah, you just
He
don't
won't-
have a ton of those.
No.
I think he's super fortunate, and
Yeah.
how cool that he's still devoted to the sport that stung him a little, and yet on the flip side of that, he's doing something major to help people who got
Yep.
stung for real. So hats
Yeah.
off, man. That's
Way to stay real
it's
and true
incredible.
to it,
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
incredible. And heck, I can remember when the little article came out. It was probably in late '87 motocross action for David Bailey. Because there was no way to hear about this in '86.
and he was coming off his.
best year ever.
Oh, he was going to be. He had years left of winning.
Yeah, he did.
RJ even talked about how that kind of affected him and O'Mara's, like, because he was the carrot that pushed all those guys to doing it, and their careers they all got hurt, and it just wasn't the same, man.
Well, and they thought differently about it. Like they approached everything differently.
Right.
It was like probably took a lot of the fun out of it. It became very different, And I just look at it like it's pretty amazing. I can't imagine. Because Jimmy knows about those cloudy, rainy days he was talking about that Jerry Robbins going to experience.
David does too. Yep.
Yeah,
And we got no idea.
No, we
like,
don't.
We've
Heck
got no way. Like we've never suffered anything like that.
No,
really.
Heck no.
we
Those
have no
days.
idea. But I it's amazing. Like those dudes still like put on a full on competitive. They've still got all their competitive sides. They still are like David Bailey's. They're
have
still
a family,
out and
a
about.
thriving
Yeah, they still
family.
do everything. Yet they got.
It'd be so easy to just throw a pity party.
That's where I'm headed.
Throw in the towel, just not be the awesome light and example that they are, which is god dang it. Shit, man, I'm not even a light or an example. I got all my faculties. I suck.
Yeah, feel like hell when you wake up. All the things.
And these dudes, come on.
Yeah.
Like David, like he's got bed sores, all this stuff that he has to monitor, and like, damn, dude.
Yeah, it's totally different. And I just applaud like the resilience.
But
of
you know
that.
what? Maybe that's why they're champions, because I feel like if they were average dudes, probably not. They're
No.
so gnarly to begin with that
They're
they're
checking
like, I'm
out
not going
or
to lose
something.
this bullshit.
Yeah.
Because he ain't
Yeah.
going to lose to Rick Johnson either.
Yeah.
So-
Well, another example of, if you've got your health, you got everything.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters.
yeah.
Your job doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is your family, your health.
Yep.
The rest of it
Yes.
can be replaced or be.
And that's where we want to have Alan. I know he's kind of on the recovery.
He
Alan
said he would
Utz.
come talk. He said
I would
he'll
love
ride up
that.
here.
I want him to tell his
Let's
story.
talk
and
about
just,
heart problems. Yeah.
yeah, man,
mean-
because we're all old dudes and like
Yeah.
shit. This is when it starts going down. I'm so aware of my mortality. Like I'm beyond close to my mother's age when she died,
I'm the same age that my dad died.
which is, dude, that's a wicked thing to start thinking about. Like
I think about that all the time. I'm like, man, my kids have had more years with their dad than I
than
had,
I did.
you know?
Correct. Yep. So
Yeah, it's gnarly, man. And
you think about it,
Yeah.
and I just want to.
You got to come from a place of gratitude every day.
Yeah.
Every day for what you got. Even if it sucks, you think it sucks, whatever, it doesn't
It don't
suck.
suck.
Come from a place of gratitude and see it. You
But-
come from a place
but
of
it's
learning, place of
perception.
gratitude.
It could be
and do
negative,
I mean,
But
You could
that's,
focus on
you
the
can't,
wrong
but
things.
and you don't have that perception until you get that perception.
Yeah, you can't
Until
tell-
your dad, your mother dies, and I try to tell my kids, I'm like, tell your mom you love her, tell whatever, because you don't know if it when because I've had that last I love you, I've had
Well,
that last
and
hug
yeah,
and all
exactly.
this stuff.
and you
Hey,
can tell
but you
young
don't know
kids anything. They can't get it yet until they,
Yeah, you got to experience it, man.
yeah, they can't get it. You can't tell. I mean, we could all tell our kids how to be rich by the time they're, if they would just listen because we
They
lived
won't
it.
do it.
They won't listen.
But heck,
Maybe that'll just make the dads out there just keep charging back to their kids. Just keep
Yeah.
going back. Tell them you love them.
because when
Just
they're
keep.
being bastards,
And it's all good.
It's hard.
I mean, yeah, your health is, and then your family, even friends. Sometimes, if you guys disappeared, my life ain't gonna change.
No, hell no. I'll do another podcast with the
Yeah.
next schmuck
probably
that I
like
meet.
tomorrow,
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. I could easily.
I know.
line up 50, 60 friends, way
Yeah,
better than y'all.
I swear, I think.
I mean, I've been waiting to get back with Jared. We were just trying to bide.
You
know.
should get Jared.
I think
back.
every day about getting rid of you guys. And
I'm the idiot that's like, hey, Kevin, let me tell one or two stories. And Kevin's like, okay.
Here we are.
Somehow
hey,
I screwed you.
Okay,
I think
we're going to
this
be at your
all
house.
the time, though. I think, man, I screwed their little deal up. They had the ratio they wanted.
We
and
did.
then I'm like, hey, dog, let me tell some
You
stories.
blew it.
And then I come in there, and then Jared's like, man, screw this guy.
I'm out of here. Y'all are best buds. No, I'm not. We're all like, I think any one of us are interchangeable. I could leave and you guys would.
No,
Be
I
just fine.
disagree.
Jared
Last
would do
week
it.
we were not as funny. We weren't like when you just look at Kevin, you just immediately start thinking stupid.
What a
shit.
dumbass.
But I,
Hey, I'm good with that. I promise you, I love
We
being the
laugh
guy
more
that pulls dumb
this
shit
week.
out of guys because
Yeah.
I thrive in that environment. If I can't, I will not announce if I can't be silly. Like I'm doing dumb shit at Daytona. Don't tell them that, but I'm like, I have to really pay attention to not being silly as shit. Man.
but sometimes I think about it. I'm like, why do you have to try? Why are you funny all the time? Like you got to be serious sometimes, and I just can't.
I don't.
But,
I don't-
but
Dude,
you are
hey,
probably for a
hey,
minute at a time.
when I'm doing CPR and I'm seeing like,
Staying alive.
I'm doing CPR. I'll give you just an example of a call. Me and a buddy of mine, we come in. These people are like, you fucking gave him drugs. You killed him. So I'm like, my head's on a swivel.
That's the first thing you hear when you
That's
come in
what
there?
I hear. It's a party. Somebody overdosed. And I'm like, just my head's on a swivel because I'm like,
It's like a
somebody's
gonna be
WWE parking
swinging a
lot.
bat.
and I walk and I look over to these are all the things I'm seeing. So we're pulling up in the fire engine. You gave him that shit. And there's 30. I'm just imagine like a
off shorts.
just shy of a Hell's Angel
Yeah.
group of people. There's a baby in a stroller up on a hill with
Hey,
some
baby.
gravel. And I'm like, who's in charge of that
Hey,
baby? I'm
baby,
like,
what are you doing on that hill?
I know. I'm taking all
Selling
this
weed,
in.
motherfucker. Shut up.
Shut up, motherfucker. So I see that baby up there and I'm like, it's just me and one other dude. I'm like, oh shit, man.
This
So
is
we go
him.
over here.
Am I gonna have
and
to
these-
hide behind that baby?
And these people are like arguing about who killed who. And we just start, I do the most basic CPR because my head's on a swivel the
going
whole time. I'm
left,
looking around. I'm
right,
like,
left,
I'm basically I mean, I'm doing it, but I'm like, God dang, man, I don't want to get caught up in this. And then I'm watching behind me, and I see a lady just go, she faints. I'm like, what in the hell? Then there's that baby up there. I'm still
we
looking
gotta
at.
work on her too.
And you're supposed to be paying attention. All you think, oh, it's John and Nick. We're here to see this shit.
Dude, check this out. And then I hit my radio. I'm like, can you get our lieutenant here? And I'm like, please get more people here.
Calling for
I'm doing
backup.
CPR the whole time. I'm just doing 360.
Now, see, now you know what you should do is when they start doing that, you say, hey, how would you like the guys? You got to do it in a WWE voice. Hey, how would you guys like to settle this at the Great Escape?
Yes.
You get in a squared circle on Saturday night and have a Pier 6 brawl.
Yes.
Woo!
I don't think that would work.
Dude,
at
they
all.
would love it. They would all come.
Hell
They
yeah,
would have the
brother.
greatest
We will pay you
customers.
$25 to fight each other.
Oh, they'd
anything
sign up back.
anything to not have them flip out and like cause more drama. There's a dead dude. There's a baby
Did
on
you
the hill.
save the dude or is he done?
No, he died.
Dang.
He was
100%.
dead when you got there. He was just trying to, Kevin was
Yeah,
just trying
Kevin
to
just
act
had
like
to
he
I'm
follow
just like,
protocol.
yeah, I'm like dribbling basketball. I'm like, well,
That's what I kept picturing. I pictured like Charles Barkley or something. You like
I'm
sort of look
terrible
around trying to
here.
see what the coverage is.
terrible. This dude's terrible
Donkey
here.
ball. No.
That's a scary situation. You get in the middle of a family feud like that.
Well,
Yeah, I haven't been shot, but there's always a first time for everything. Our guys have walked in. They're like, blah blah blah, and they say something. He goes, what? And this guy just points a gun. You just came in on a med call at 3 a.m, so you don't know what you're walking
Yeah.
into. It's
God, that
and we're not
scares
allowed to have guns or anything.
I always think it wouldn't hurt.
I mean, I
If you
would
had
love
one in your boot or
I
something.
would love.
like a
I would
little
love to be mandated.
tiny
I would
pistol.
love for one of our crew
Yeah,
to be
just
mandated
somebody. And
to
be like, hey,
officially
man,
be able to carry a gun, carry it in our jump bag.
I always say this when Grant and Rhett got to go do some deal on Craigslist or whatever. We're selling this to some dude on Craigslist, and I'm like, take the pistol, and the whole time Grant's doing the deal with the guy, you point the gun at Grant, and you just sit there and you go, you do anything stupid, I'm gonna smoke my friend.
Yeah.
Damn, this guy's crazy.
and
You
the
act
guy's
funny and
like-
he gets it.
The dude's all weirded out, and he's like, I can't mess with these dudes. He's gonna smoke his
I think
friend.
you'll take 500, won't you?
Yes.
I went to
Shoot
sell
your friend if it goes south.
a 92 CR250 one time, and I met the guy off Interstate 75 on Delk Road at a gas station.
That's
yeah.
a solid location.
He was coming from Tennessee, and so I stuck my 38 in my pocket. This is in 94 or 5, something like that. Stuck my 38 in my pocket. So I thought, I don't know who this guy is. You know what I mean? He's on the other side of the interstate. Well,
You sold this on Cycle Trader, probably.
Yeah, Cycle
Oh, you
Trader.
were selling
This
it.
is 94, 95, so we didn't have the internet. So yeah,
Yeah, it's 94. So
We're cycle trading the hell
Cycle
out of
Trader, a guy calls from Tennessee, and I thought that was weird, right? So and he comes down, and I stick this 38 in my pocket because it's the
You were happy to see him?
hammerless 38, you know. So
Yeah.
and I didn't know who the guy was. I was meeting him at a gas
Dude,
station.
I always
whatever.
take a pistol.
So evidently I probably had Daisy Dukes on, and so the handle of the gun was sticking out of my pocket a little bit. And so while I'm waiting, I go in the store to get a Coca-Cola, right?
Coca-Cola. Those of you
Coca-Cola.
listening out west,
Coca-Cola.
It's
and
Coca-Cola, you
Coke-
dumb.
I
I got Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola and a pack of peanuts to pour in the Coca-Cola.
Yeah, right. I ate a damn moon pie on my way home too.
I poured the peanuts in the Coca-Cola.
And you guys do that? That's a thing down here. Donnie
never
Banks.
did it.
I saw it. Donnie Banks.
You've never done it?
Barbara
No.
Mandrell did
This
it.
shit's delicious.
What do you do with you eat Coca-Cola peanuts?
Yeah, you pour the pack of peanuts
And you
in
don't
your
choke on
Coca-Cola.
peanuts every
No,
time one.
in a glass bottle of Coca-Cola.
I know.
And it's delicious.
Those little snub
Does
nose.
it just changes the flavor of the
I
Coke,
did it
or
last
you
year,
eating
probably.
the peanuts?
Yeah, you get the salt in the Coke, and yeah.
Bro, that is a deep South. Like our generation beyond, those kids will never know that.
Nick was
No.
country when country wasn't cool.
I
Donnie
posted.
Banks, I saw him doing it at like damn
Danger
Hillbilly
Boy
Hills.
Donnie.
Danger Donnie.
I posted a picture of it about 4 or 5 years ago when I did it. I was at work.
Yeah.
And I just said, if you know, you know. You
You
know what I mean?
tagged
Like,
Barbara
You
and
dang
Louise.
right. Yeah.
Louise Mandrell.
So anyway,
What was
the
the
guy
other
in the
one?
gas station sees the gun in my pocket. Well, he calls the cops. So I'm sitting in the parking lot. Next thing I
Like
know,
you're just gonna smoke the dude for trying to buy your CR.
here comes two. Like the guy pulls up. He just pulled up to buy the bike, and then 2 police cars come in, and they get out and literally draw down on us.
That is not cool.
Did you
Yeah.
sell the bike to the guy?
Yeah, yeah. I
Hell
said it to him.
yeah. What
I
a
assume
story.
He has a gun too. Like I don't even.
He ought to
mind
have a
taking
musket.
gun.
Hold on a minute. He's over there trying to pack that thing.
He's packing.
Yeah.
Got to get my
This
powder.
ain't fair.
He's packing it.
Far, it ain't far. He's
Dude,
from
I bought a
Tennessee.
Bobcat from a guy on a farm, and for some reason I was so weirded out I was out in the middle of nowhere. This dude should have just been a good old country boy, but something about him weirded me out. And I'm sitting there with a pistol, and I'm like, dude, I need 2 pistols. This flipping idiot's going to get me from my offside, and I'm not going to be able to aim the gun enough, you know? But nothing happened. I just assume if you're doing a deal on Craigslist or whatever, you got a gun.
What is your oddest sale of anything? Truck, dump truck? I know you got a bunch because y'all sold a shit ton of stuff. Like, not your car lot
Nick's
stuff.
gonna have way more stories.
No,
than
I
me.
don't. I can tell you one of my
I got
oddest.
a good one. I got one.
One of my oddest buying experiences
Okay.
was when I went and got. And you remember the dog, the first Tyson, the first boxer I ever had. And so I go to Tallapoosa, Georgia, to get this boxer. I was literally at our gas station in Douglasville, and somebody came by with a boxer puppy, and I'd been wanting one. And I was like, "Where'd you get that dog?" And they said, "We drove all the way to Tallapoosa, Georgia, to get it, whatever." And so, well, give me the number. I'm going out there today, right? So I go inside, call the guy.
Get a 38.
I go to this dirt road, like
Always.
it was terrible. He had these dog pens, it had it wasn't like a puppy mill, but he had probably 4 dogs.
Poor conditions, right?
So this guy,
Mike Vick's out there. Yeah, dog.
this guy comes
Go
out,
long, mother.
shaved head, like
Run a post route.
Harley dude looking,
Burnt cross in the yard.
yeah, like
Damn.
white supremacist,
Hell yeah.
Nazi looking guy, tatted up,
100%, dude.
no shirt on, right?
'Cause
Cut
you
off
don't
blue
sell a
jean
dog
shorts.
with a shirt on.
Hell no, it's illegal.
Cut off blue jean shorts, no shirt, boots, and there's fucking kids running everywhere, right? So, and he's got this daughter, okay? And when she comes up, she's probably some later teenager. And as I'm standing there talking to this man, she is 3:00 on me, standing there staring at me with her face 5 inches from my face.
Jesus, dude.
Like, she is so close to me, I'm thinking, she's about to kiss me on the cheek. Like, what?
Yeah, she's
what-
way too
gonna buy this
personal
dog?
space.
So, yes, like, she's way into my space.
Mama made some.
Not
macaroni
saying a
and
word,
cheese
and I'm
you
just
want
like, out of my peripheral vision, I'm like, holy shit, what is going on here? And, like, I felt like it was a cry for help, like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
some. Help me.
And so,
You like grits?
his wife, who's got on, like, a
Moo. Please be a
moo
moo.
with nothing
Garfield.
on,
Hell
like,
yeah, moo-moo.
like the porch. There's fucking animals running everywhere, and there's no door
A
on the house.
Garfield
It looks
moo-moo.
like. So the phone starts ringing, and as they're talking to me, the phone probably rings 10 times, right? And
That's
finally,
He's on the way. Everybody sit tight.
he breaks his sentence to me like he's going, "Yeah, we got the dog here and this guy," and he goes, "Phone, woman."
God dang.
And then just keeps talking, and she scurries in the house to answer the phone. And I was thinking,
Phone woman.
I'm never getting out of here. Like, I'm going to be married to his daughter here in just a little while. Yeah, like he's going to be like,
Louisiana Saturday night.
I feel like that's what was going on. You were basically at the
Phone woman.
yeah. And I was like, I know they're going to say Ellie Mae's taken a liking to you, and you're going to have to stay here
Turns out
forever.
this is arranged.
You mind eating a bowl of cereal, son? While
Smell
you
this
wait?
rag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That smell like ether.
So I had this 84 RM250 one time I was going to sell. And this is when I first built the lake. And me and my buddy were out there, and we didn't have no place to stay. We had a camper and one light bulb outside hanging from a tree. And we were running it off of one of them little Honda generators. It was probably 06 or 07. It wasn't like in the Stone Ages. But this dude called me. It was a Texas number. Hey, man, you got that RM250? And I'm like, yeah, I'm coming to get it. And I said, it says Texas on it. He goes, yeah, I'm in Texas. He goes, I'm going to drive. I'm going to get there kind of late. Is that fine? And I was like, yeah, but I just wanted to stay out there. It's my new property. I wanted to stay on the property, whatever. I'm like, yeah, come on. Because, nobody comes.
No, they never.
say they're
Yeah, oh,
coming.
yeah.
Look,
I got
I'll
the
be there
cash,
tomorrow.
by God, everything. And they never come. And so I'm like, come on. Well, I Google that number or whatever. This is the early days of smartphones or internet or whatever. So says he's a Volkswagen dealer. I looked the dude up, and he rolls up in some rabbit truck
Hell
at
yeah.
10 p.m. at night. And the driveway's not asphalt; it's just dirt. And he's calling me, and he's like, "You sure it's okay to come down here?" I said, "Yeah, man."
Sure. Try your luck, boy.
And I'm still kind of thinking he ain't coming, right? But he's at the end of the driveways, and now I'm
That
like,
dude
crap.
just drove from Texas.
Yes, it was 10 hours.
My man.
To buy an 84 RM250. So he comes down that driveway and he sees how shot out and redneck and inbred. And
Get over here.
My buddy was that was Jack Huffman, and he was hammered, son. He was
Thanks, brother.
had the music way loud on some kind of
On
like
purpose.
yeah. Well, no, just Cypress Hill or something is what you play when you're on a dirt road. And damn, if that dude, I was like, hey man, yeah, I didn't think you were really coming the whole time. That's why I'm out here instead of at my house. And he goes, well, hey man, we can go ahead and load that thing up. Here's the money. And I'm like, you want to hear it run? No, I'm good. You don't want to ride?
You don't
it?
want to see how I kiss,
Nothing.
boy?
You know. He goes, no man, I'm good. And he's like, you count it, I'll load it up. And this dude was freaked the hell out, but he got it.
Who
got
was
on the
it?
road.
Do you have any idea?
I don't remember his
Dude,
name.
I would love to know. Like, he's probably still, if that dude drove from Texas, he's still probably
He's
heavily
heavily
involved. Like, he just loves dirt bikes. I would love to know who. There's
yeah.
probably a story. Goes,
You
man,
could probably Google VW dealers and
if
find
there's
out.
another podcast in Texas, man, what's the weirdest bike you ever bought? Man, I bought this bike from a guy.
Sophie's
Man.
bunch of
He's playing
damn
damn.
inbreds.
He's playing damn Cypress Hill. Like,
I bought it for these two inbred.
He
I
was
think they
scared
were.
out
his
of his
story
mind.
is equally as scary as yours.
I think they were a couple.
Because I was fine. I
Come here,
was
sit
like,
in
I
my
got
lap,
Jack.
boy. Let me count it out. 100.
Lick my fingers so I can get these.
100. I can't do it.
Here, let me, hey,
200. Lick my fingers again, bitch.
this is the way you should do that. Is you go, come here, Jack. I got to count this money, and he gets down on all fours, and you start counting it out on his back.
Yes. And every time you need a little salt,
Jack!
on your
You
fingers,
just,
run it
stick-
across his-
run it up
yeah,
his
you just
butt
put it in his
crack.
front of his face. You
This
lick
dude
your
just,
thumb.
dude. If you
Oh,
had
I
that,
was gonna go to the
if you had that
other end.
orchestrated, this guy would be like, "What the fuck?
He was scared out of his
Holy cow!"
moisture, and you just stick your finger down there. And mix it.
Jack,
moisture, Jack.
come on now, Jack.
Moist. Just keep saying moist.
200.
Jack's got a spiked collar on, no
Yes.
shirt.
Tied off to a damn tree.
Got Jack tied off to a tree.
That'd be
Get
hilarious.
over
Jack!
here.
Dude,
And he
that's
just-
that's something Joey would do.
He just stared at the
He
guy.
would video
do
it.
this.
He would video it just to watch y'all pull in and go and watch those lights go whoop, and
He
just
started to
leave,
keep
dude.
rolling in a
He would
VW
take the
truck.
loss of a sale from a guy that drove from Texas who was surely going to buy this RM250.
Dude, that homeboy didn't even care if he overpaid, underpaid.
I don't care, man. It's
like,
$3 grand.
whatever,
Just here's my wallet. He throws
He
it.
just
at
threw it like it was like making it rain. He just threw it. I'm sure there's an extra 500
I
there.
really
I'm getting
wish
the fuck
I would have
out.
chained
God
Jack
almighty.
to a tree.
It would be the best if he was like Jack was on all fours and he just stared at the dude the whole time. And you weren't looking at the guy.
Jack was growling.
And he's just staring at him in the eyes, and the guy was like,
Jack's just looking at him going,
I see. We let him go.
dude, there's no
why don't
shortage
we
of,
let him go? Hey.
there's no shortage of Fruit Loops on Marketplace, Craigslist. So I got this Bobby Hewitt CT70 listed on Marketplace. And it's nice. It runs perfect. Cranks right up. Everything works. There's such a range of prices on these CT70s, mini trails. $1,200 for the nicest one you've ever seen, or $3,500 for the Raging Pile.
Yeah.
Or $2,500 for the nicest one you've seen, or $800 for the Pile. It's like, what is going on?
It's
with this?
whoever it's most important to. If you get the right
is.
dude,
Yeah. So I got the thing listed 2,400 or whatever, but 2,000's the number. It'll sell for 2,000. So 2,400. First, as soon as it's on there, a guy I know, I'll give you 2,000 right now. Well, hey man, that's actually my number, and you live in Dallas. We're 12 miles apart.
done.
Come on, ghost. Never hear from him again. Another guy. Hey man, if you'll take 2,000, I'll come get it today. Yes sir, I'll take 2,000. That's fine. Come on. Wait till the next day. Well man, if you'll take 1,800, I'll come on. And
You
I'm
were
just
too
like,
easy with it. That's why he thinks I paid too much.
Well, I
Dumbass.
don't even know what to do. It's just like 2,000.
You're talking to a Nick. How would you 22 take take 2?
Yeah, when
I
he
know-
says
I
I
know we
take
should
2, 20,
haggle,
yeah,
but-
but they
He's tired of. I
It's
get
not
it.
my motorcycle. Like it's a miracle. I made
it cracks me up when people get buyer's remorse and they haven't even bought it yet. Like,
Yeah,
but
dude.
that's the thing.
It is.
Yeah, so
wait a minute. He accepted my offer. That is damn it.
I should have hit him. I should have cut him more.
All right. Well, I'm gonna sit on it and
I
think.
know I should play this game with them,
but it's you don't even give a crap.
It's their fault though because they don't know how to negotiate. If they want to pay 2,000, they should have offered. If you're asking whatever you're,
yeah, he should have came at me at 1,800.
You should
I'd
drop
say,
it
hey,
to-
dude, 2,000 is my bottom.
even more. You should drop it 60% of that.
Yeah, you should be embarrassed
and
of
then
your
go
first
up.
offer,
You know what
right?
I mean? Yeah, and then go again. You know that, and then fucking buy it for whatever you're going to pay anyway.
I
This
was
way.
always told you should be embarrassed of your first offer. You should feel stupid saying it.
And your offer initially should be way more than what you think. So we all kind of. I mean,
Yeah.
We've watched Pawn Stars enough.
Exactly. We're going to
So
meet in
dumb.
the middle and American Pickers and all the crap, right? Yeah.
It's
But
that
I just
easy.
am like, hey, I just want to sell this thing. I mean, you're sitting here, you're coming at me with $2,000.
Listen, I haven't been here for this photo. This was in my
Those are
Guinness.
CT70s.
This was my Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
dudes were on the back page.
Back
That
cover,
son of a bitch.
son, yeah.
Yeah, dog.
Back cover of the Guinness Book of World
Dude,
Records.
I think those are 71 CT70s, exactly like what's in the garage.
Those two guys. I feel like the
They're
picture.
twins, right?
Yeah,
You think?
I feel like the picture was from the back. Was it not?
Yes,
from
it
the back?
100% was.
It was a picture of
Yes.
those two guys from
Oh,
the back.
so this is rare. I've got the facing picture.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
picture's probably
Somebody
worth.
got that
That
for
picture's
me.
worth more than your motorcycle that you're trying to
I
sell.
probably,
It probably is,
because
yeah.
there's two of them.
Hey, you should make a copy of it and we'll sign it.
Yes,
Nick and huh?
be
Like,
Nick and Kevin.
like you just say autograph picture of.
Ben and Jerry.
Nobody
no,
ever.
it'll be Nick and Kevin.
Nobody's going to ask who autographed.
No,
it.
that's Ben and
Those things
Jerry.
are brand new, so that's 1971.
And later on, they're going to be like, dude, those guys are dead. They didn't sign that picture. He said, I didn't say who autographed it. John, and, I mean,
Are
Nick
they really
and,
named Ben and Jerry?
No,
Nick and
Oh,
Kevin.
because you were like, you seemed adamant about
Yeah,
that.
Ben and Jerry's a good name for them, though.
I mean, come on.
Dude, look at that. And you know that motorcycle went just as good with them on it as it would with us.
That's probably
All the
one of the ones
torque.
in your garage.
It could be. I mean, it could be.
I saw some big ass prints in it. The seat, you know, that was the only thing.
Yeah.
There is some ass.
It's the only
prints.
pick on the bike.
Yeah, it's the only one.
So, again, sell everybody why they should come to our race. Even
Okay.
if you're not from here.
It's a vibe event on a beautiful
And
farm.
we do vibe events. You guys do.
That's all I wanna
the,
race.
the
That's all I
mammoth-
wanna do.
Yeah, I
you
don't
do the
even wanna-
mammothy, the dates,
Whatever's
the day in the dirt.
epic. Let's go to whatever's epic.
And dude, I will put, and I've done them, dude. And I will say the music, and it might have been the sunshine, the people that were there on that little hillside where we were
humidity.
at. It was. We may not ever capture that again, but I'll tell you that weekend was
It had it.
one of my favorite weekends. I promoted races with my father. I've never had, even at Bremen, never had that vibey of a just good feeling. I felt good about what I was doing
Everybody
too.
was there for a purpose.
Yeah.
And they didn't mind that, hey, man, we had a few speed bumps on the way because it was the first time we ran the event. But it's a beautiful place to be. The weather was perfect.
Track turned out to actually be, like, we didn't know.
I didn't
What
really
was it
go
going to be
around
cool?
it.
Was it fun? Like, it was going to be cool as
And
shit.
let me tell you something about our race that was going on that we haven't even talked about. Because everywhere you walked around, there was more hardcore bench racing going on at that race.
Pound for pound.
Then-
Well, Billy
anywhere I've
Lyles
ever
was over
been.
there at Andy Alexander's tent, eating up the food and telling
Keith
stories.
Turpin, Ezra Lusk was there, Barry Higgins.
Everybody had seen somebody they haven't saw in 20
Jim
years.
Brannon.
And
That's the truth.
and
right
there were
there.
groups of people all over talking to
I
each
saw
other.
Matt
telling
Shue.
us, like,
Heck, some people bought motorcycles to race there because they used
Hey, was
to
Sean
race.
ever there?
Sean came, yeah,
Yeah.
and Larry. Larry Dukes was there.
Why do I
Sean
not
Baker.
remember?
They
Your
were,
brother?
they were in a big Honda Pioneer red. They were
I
the
did see
only
that.
one riding around.
I did
and
see that.
And Sean kind of asked, he's like, "Hey man, can I haul my dad around?" And Larry was like the kingpin of
yeah.
modifications on motorcycles in Georgia for a long.
He was
time.
our Mitch Payton for sure.
Yeah, for a long time. If your
Dude,
bike
that-
was
he could
LSD,
do
it
some
was.
suspension, son.
I told Larry this, and he just always smirks. But there was a time when I rode the A class when you would see a roughed out straightaway, and I can remember previously being nervous about it or whatever, but I would charge that straightaway with
Confident.
confidence because, hey man, Larry did my suspension. I know the bike's gonna go straight. It's gonna beat the hell
Dude,
out of
if
me.
you-
It's gonna go straight.
If you were at any night race in the 90s, early 90s, and Ezra Lusk shows up and then Sean Dukes leads him out on a 3-year-old motorcycle that Larry had done, I'm like, that tells you
not
all you need to
normal.
know, dude.
Sounded awesome. I
This
know-
is the current points leader in Supercross. Sean is leading him, and he pulls
And
over.
that
I was in the
CR's
tower at Calhoun.
barking.
He goes, "Why did you pull over?" When Ezra comes up, and they're like, he goes, "Man, I didn't." Blah blah blah. I did 10 laps. I'm good. I'm like, holy cow! You just pulled over for 117 on a
Yeah, on
fucking
factory
factory
Suzuki.
Suzuki ride.
Yeah.
I will
was
never
bad
forget that.
to
He was
the
a
bone.
bad dude. So anyway, his work was.
I know I rode
fantastic.
Sean's 125 one night at Bremen one Saturday night. I don't know why, but I was like, yeah, I'm only racing one class, and I'm sitting here, and Sean goes, well, go sign up and ride my 125, and I was like, cool. So went over there, told
This is
you
what
guys,
started Nick on the 17
all
classes.
the different bikes and
Yeah.
and I rode his one, and I had it was like a 93 or 4 125, and I had a 92 CR250, and I just remember riding his motorcycle and going, this is what it's supposed to feel like. Like, this is what
Yeah.
suspension is supposed to feel like. Like,
Confidence. You can plow into bumps and it don't kick left or right. And
it was,
That's got to be so cool to just turn people away. Like, think I'm done, man. I'm good. I think I've done enough forks and
Larry.
yeah,
Yeah.
just be able to go. Yeah,
You know, and what was crazy was people were telling me
Everybody.
for 2 years, man, Larry, he won't do my bikes anymore. He won't do my bikes anymore. But he did mine for 2 more years of me hearing that. And then I finally started having, trying to have a kid. And I kind of
Right.
hit the brakes about the time that I had heard he's done with it. And he piddled around here and there. But man, I felt fortunate to get 2 extra years of suspension
sure.
service out of
For
Larry.
sure.
I never used him on motors I was always fine with a stock 250 or
dude.
by then it was a 4-stroke.
He did Kyle's 93, and the sound it made, it sounded like I had heard Team Green bikes all year long, and then Kyle finally got his ported, polished. He matched the cases, did all the stuff you could do at Loretta's on light, and it just had a different sound.
Yeah.
It was
Different note.
It was good. It was a pretty.
But it's like
Nothing
we said
better.
earlier, like, now the bikes are all so good. This, whatever you ride. But back then, like 91, if you got a Yamaha, compared to a CR, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That's a big difference just on stock to
Yeah, do you
stock.
remember how
Yeah.
it's not like that anymore? Like I remember 91, 92 RM 125s at Ichikani would eat your ass up. Like
Yeah.
I
I had a
remember Jeff
93.
Geis and Mike D'Amico would. Oh my god!
I had a 92.
Did you?
The cow was it 91 or 92 with the cow seat?
91 or 2.
92
Yeah, remember that funky
maybe?
seat?
Yeah,
I had
the-
93 and it was very basic.
Yeah, I had the
Painter
92
splat.
with the cow
It wasn't
seat.
the
Yeah.
splatter.
Yeah, those things were gnarly, and they were so much better.
They're
than
good
us.
bikes.
Yes,
But it's funny, those years.
now it's not like man, those cows. You
Nope.
don't ever hear people go, man, that
No,
They're all
whatever.
rocket
You're-
ships.
you're
They all
fine. You
go
can
the
just-
You'll
distance.
map them. You'll get them.
And I know that I'm not fast, but when people like my KTM, when people are like, "God, those Air Force suck," and I'm like,
those are the best
actually-
air forks I've ever had.
They're actually as good a fork as I've ever been on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they're
And I had a 13 Honda, and I do remember those forks sucked, and my arms would go numb, not arm pump, but it had such a vague feeling. It felt like I'm not saying my arms actually went numb. It felt like my arms were numb. I had no feeling in the front. It was just like dead.
The ground didn't translate to your hands. and
Nothing.
you couldn't-
It just did. You couldn't tell what the ground was doing, and that somebody might think that's good, but it wasn't, because that thing could be sliding and you don't even know it. You just
Yeah,
riding, and
right.
then all of a sudden you're laying on the ground. You're like, "What the hell?" I can remember multiple times hitting the ground, and I never even took my hands off.
All right, so what are we doing?
97.
No, June and mid-June. What are we
oh,
doing?
we got okay.
We're talking Mammoth.
You dang right we are.
Nick brought it up to Amanda.
I know.
I'm clear to go. The only reason I'm even hesitant is it's so weird around here. Amanda's so one-track mind
Ava.
about Ava graduating.
I get it. She's already graduated.
But that's in June. Like, we should be able to just go, right? I mean,
Yes.
I just
Dude,
can't think ahead.
John,
if Nick, this is the same thing. If Nick just said, "I got you a bike,"
He's going
All
to
right,
do it.
here's my flight.
That's over.
Just, well, no, but listen. I want like
I love that place.
I feel like
man.
Amanda, like she would. Our girls all together, like
She would love
It's
it.
that
She
much
has-
better for all of us. Like I'm not like me and my wife have gone for years by ourselves, and then adding Kyle and Amelia who want to go apparently. Adding you guys, it made my trip exponential. I didn't think I could love it that much more than I did. Sharing it with my buddies.
Mammoth
I
is
missed
one of the
out on all
baddest-
the fun stuff Monday
You
because I
did.
left Monday.
Mammoth is one of the coolest things I've ever been.
It is that's
but-
as vibey as it gets, dude.
I love California. Like
I
I,
do too.
really do
It's a
love
beautiful
California.
state.
It's gorgeous.
And
out
that
there.
is love times 10 up
And
there.
Yeah.
That's
no
the best part of
humidity.
California.
No
When you
humidity,
leave Georgia
no-
in late June and you land out there, and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, 87's not even hot,
Dude, 46 is not cold.
Yes.
46, and I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. I
Remember
might bring
that?
a zip-up hoodie. I'm like, I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, I should be dying right now. I know at 46 with
We're
humidity.
walking through the pits when we get there in the morning. We rode up there with you.
What
And
is
we're
this?
walking through the pits, and we've got on shorts and t-shirts, and people have on like puffy jackets with the hoods up, and
We're like, dude, it's
They're
different
dying.
here. It,
We're
is-
over here.
gloves.
We're
and
like,
I'm
it feels good, don't it?
Man, this is awesome. Yeah.
it ain't the same. It's different. So all you East Coast guys, like do it once. Like Kurt Nickel will give you a bike. He will have it set up for you. Put your numbers on
That's
it
the best I've ever.
for seven. What was it?
that's the most
$700
free I've ever ridden. $750, I think.
Yeah.
$750. 3
$750.
days though.
3 days.
Basically,
the bike
with a mechanic.
and it's set up. And the big thing about Mammoth is if you come there and you're not from there and you pull in with your truck and trailer, they're like, hey, get in line at 3:30 in the morning.
Dude, I did that in 2019.
Freak that.
2:30.
But when you
Because
get your bike
Revis-
from Kurt,
It's already there. He's got VIP parking. He's already there. You just cruise in at 6:45, 7.
yeah, you cruise in, get
I
on the
don't even
shuttle,
remember
ride
being
up.
that
Yeah,
early.
I don't think it was
We
that
sat
early.
around
either.
and ate
7:15
breakfast.
actually, probably. So do it, man. It's
What if we went upstairs and y'all are like, hey, man, it's planned?
done.
Yeah, that's
I just
Orlando.
don't want to interrupt her. She's so focused on Ava.
Why don't you make the plan? Like, just go ahead and book the travel and put it refundable. Where if you have to bail out of the flight, whatever.
Yeah, but I won't have to. She's cool with going. She doesn't care. I just feel bad because she's up there mailing invitations.
I get that.
Ava's
100%.
got dance tryouts at the
You
college.
didn't buy
just- you know
cheap
what,
envelopes, did you?
here we
She's not licking a bunch of cheap envelopes.
Yeah. Pull
No,
the-
I didn't. We didn't do that.
So
Like
hey,
Costanza.
how about this? Make it much easier
Susan.
for her. Plan it for her.
That's how I typically do.
There we go.
I plan
I just
all my
haven't
trips.
done it
There's
this year.
no-
I don't want to.
I know going forward, your wife and as much fun as our crew had, and we did nothing. We just walked around and Mammoth has so much to do that you don't even have, like, it took me about 3 years to do all the shit that Mammoth has.
Yeah.
I still haven't hit the hot springs by the airport.
Well, there's a lot of naked people over there. I guarantee it. Hot Springs, people take their clothes off for some reason.
People want to get naked there. They sell tequila, makes you damn
Randy,
clothes
we
You
fall
pull a
off.
mean helicopter after coming out of them hot springs.
Yeah, don't go into them because it's a little mini propeller.
But when you come out, it's
guns
max-
a-blazing.
You're like Airwolf.
Airwolf.
Remember that show?
He pulled a yes, of course.
Dude,
Airwolf.
They made that weird sound.
Yeah, it made the weirdest sound. It had
Airwolf.
nothing like
Your
a
hair
helicopter.
wolf
No.
when you come out there ungroomed.
Horn wolf.
Oh, God. What were we going to say about Randy?
Well, just Randy has a hot tub story where
Oh.
it was his brother-in-law, and they kept begging him to get in a hot tub, and he's like, "Man, I don't want to do this, whatever." And finally, he gets in the hot tub, and he makes sure he was fully ready to roll. They were all doing it nude, so he goes, "Hey, sorry about that."
He fluffed all
He
up.
fluffed up before he spins. He spins and goes into the guy that was just come on, dude, stop being a whatever. And he spins to squeeze into this dude's wife's. His brother-in-law's whatever.
His meat stick hit her in the face?
No, but it's like in her face.
Oh, he put it near
as
her
he's like,
face.
and he goes, "Oh, sorry, excuse me." He's trying to squeeze. He could have squeezed. There was
coulda
three.
come in anywhere.
There was 3 circular feet for him to get in, but he's like, "Oh man, my bad."
I
He
got news for you.
squeezes-
That wasn't an accident.
Oh no, he says he did it. Like, here we go. We're doing it naked, and his dong was in
That
her
is
face.
hilarious. But
There you go.
people do think you got a hot tub naked. They think that. People think this.
I
I'm just
just-
saying.
I don't
I
know
tell you
why.
this: you don't get a cold plunge naked.
Dude,
No,
you cover
if
all
you
your
get into
bits
a
up.
hot tub naked with my wife, and she's gonna karate chop your little wiener right off. Everybody else's wiener for even entertaining.
Nobody's
it.
going to karate chop, or Amanda won't karate chop you. She's not going. Nothing's going to happen.
Not feeling it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but people think that though. They
Oh,
do.
yeah, you'll be in like the pool, like where some dude saunters in there, like, "We're not having a threesome, Nick." Like, they must have
You want a
thought.
hot tub story? Like, okay, from Steamboat Springs, and it's
Okay.
nothing sexual
Hell
at
yeah.
all.
Not
So,
sexual.
We go to Steamboat Springs.
We're just talking about naked people in hot tubs.
Yeah, not sexual.
Yeah. So we get through skiing, right? We're gonna go get in the hot tub, and it was a
Dude,
bunch
that'd be
of dudes.
good after skiing.
Yeah, it was
Easy,
a bunch of
about
dudes. The hot
half.
tub's outside. You know what I mean? So it's snowing outside. It's pretty cool, and we're like, "Oh, let's go get in the hot tub." So we're young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're the youngest guy with us, probably 18. The oldest is probably 19 or 20. But we're Georgia rednecks,
Yeah.
right? And one of the guys was, he played defensive line at some, I don't know where the fuck or offensive line, big guy. And so there's a lot of people in the hot tub, big round hot tub, giant one. And we're like, dude. So my smart, this guy, Eric Roundtree, Kevin, my redheaded buddy. So he's young, and he
You mean
look-
your other red?
my other
I'm
redheaded
the
buddy.
redheaded buddy.
He looks like I got a history of hanging with gingers. Evidently.
You obviously do because there's a lot in your damn
So
list.
Eric's 150 pounds, like soaking wet, and he looks 12, but he's at the time 18 or 19, and
He's like Sherman, the Shermanator.
so he goes out there and was like gonna get in the hot tub. He got tired of waiting on us or whatever.
Hell, I'm
And
turning
all
my
the
clothes
guys
off. Put the
out
rubber
there-
on. Let's go.
No, all the guys out there were just dicks to him. They were like, there ain't no fucking room in here for you. Get your redhead ass. And they just go off on him, right?
I've heard this, but continue.
And so
There's
he
a cannonball somewhere in
Like
this,
he
I'll
just
tell you
starts laughing. Like when they start, they're giving him
He's
shit,
like,
like
oh.
being a dick.
Okay.
And he starts laughing in their face.
Cool.
And they're like, I don't know what your little scrawny ass is laughing at. You know what I mean?
Hey, Nick! Hey,
So-
you guys!
He comes in and he's laughing and shaking his head. He goes, y'all ain't gonna believe what just happened. He starts telling the story.
This mother-
They're like, okay. So I just take off out the door, jump over the guys' heads there in the thing, cannonball right in the middle of the hot tub.
God, dude,
Like-
that stopped all that talk.
Cannonball. And so my other buddies come out there and the dudes are like, man, that ain't fun. And then they start realizing we got a fucking problem. You know what I mean?
There's
So,
more guys keep cannonballing in there.
yeah, so everybody's just jumping in. My other buddy's like 270 pounds, comes cannonballs in there. So everybody gets out except for like two dudes, right? Three guys, like, and they're gonna stick it out. And one of them's just a super smart ass. You know what I mean? And we're not like trying to fight.
Yeah.
We're just being funny. Y'all want to be smart asses? Let's be smart
Yeah,
asses, right?
that's
You want to be a dickhead? We can be a dickhead. So, and we're in there. We're just having a good time. And my buddy is in the pool or the hot tub, and the guys that stayed, one of them is taking on upon himself to get pissed about the whole thing, right?
Well, go, I'll kill these.
That ain't cool, man. You should this, and I'm laughing. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, we don't mean anything by it. Nobody's looking for any trouble.
But you don't
whatever.
own this hot tub.
Yeah. So
hey,
yeah, and so he keeps going on, and the big guy that was with me is like, I'm tired of his shit, and I was like, it'll be all right. And about that time, he reaches across the hot tub, grabs the guy by the head, and shoves him underwater. And is holding him. I mean, I thought he was going to drown him, like
yeah,
for
I ain't
real.
cool with that ever.
And we're laughing and shit. And his arms are flailing, but the dude probably weighs 170, and my buddy weighs
but finally, he just chills out. You know what I
270.
mean? Why-
yeah, he
his arms-
eventually got
his
real
arms
stiff.
are calm. And so my one buddy that's got some sense, eventually he's like, hey man,
You should probably stop doing that.
you need to, because Russ is going, hey, stop, and he won't do it. And he tells me, he's like, man, make him stop. He picks the dude up, and the guy, like, as soon as he gets his breath, he shoves him right back underwater and holds him.
I never,
Where were you the night of? Oh.
I never had anybody do that to me.
It was
I'd
ugly.
see some rage if that happened.
That-
I would eventually be
No, but I've
raging.
never been a dick to somebody. I've never deserved
Hey.
it. But like, god dang,
That dude was so oxygen deprived, he couldn't get raged. He was done, like,
he was so happy to be
that
alive
fucker
at that
was
point.
squirming. He thought he was going to die.
Yeah.
Like he really
Climbing,
thought
like, on his stomach, like, dragging
he's
himself
like
out of
he
there.
starts like spazzing out, like panicking, and his two buddies are sitting there and they're afraid to do anything. And he just
You're next.
I was like, and you know, I'm
Is
young.
this the Shermanator that was getting drowned?
No, it's the guy we didn't even know.
Oh, the guy you didn't know.
We had no idea who
Man,
this guy was.
Just don't go hot tub with Nick and his crew.
No,
dog.
And he,
it's not-
he
it sounds
finally
really dangerous.
he lets him up, you know, and the guy can't even really help himself. And the guy, I was like, man, y'all need to get his ass out of here. And they just like drag him out the hot tub
dang
and
it.
go.
I just never hung out with people like that.
He
Just dragging
literally
his
almost
heels or just-
drowned. Like,
Damn.
I was waiting on that guy just to go limp. I mean,
Yeah.
he held him underwater for a long time. Like it was uncomfortably.
I would never do that to somebody. I don't want to be mean to people.
I wouldn't do it either, but it was kind of funny at the time.
Man, watch. It's going to be cool. He's going to quit
Watch
squirming.
his arms. Like, see, I tested it a lot. They float.
He don't
in
even
water.
care
Yeah.
anymore. He just quit squirming.
See,
Yeah.
he's just
yeah,
being
see,
cool
he's
now.
cool with it now.
Yeah.
He's so cool
Almighty,
with it,
dude.
man.
But we were talking about the difference in the temperature, the humidity. We would get out that, like, you know, we're out there and you're doing shots or whatever in the hot tub. And then it was like who'd jump out of the hot tub and jump into snow and do snow angels and then jump back in the hot tub, which had to be bad for you. I don't know that was.
I don't
Well, I
think
mean, the
it's
guy that
good.
almost murdered somebody's probably still running on adrenaline, so he could probably
Yes.
the snow didn't bother him. Man, I just killed somebody a minute
It
ago.
makes me want to kill more people.
I'm cooled off now. I'm ready to go
I think
again.
Brick killed a guy.
Dude,
Yeah, you should probably lay low for a little while. Damn.
That was no, it wasn't like Barry Higgins really murdering somebody.
yeah, actually shooting at people. I think
He's not sure though.
right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe
Hey, Brad Lackey's the Grand Marshal
Grand Marshal.
for VMD.
Yeah,
Oh
man.
yeah, bad Brad.
Got some good stories with him.
I
and
can't wait.
Providence.
Like, so we're talking about that. I can't wait for Mammoth. I can't wait for VMD.
Correct.
There's some ride I may be going on next week if I don't know what's up with
Hey,
that.
hey, whoa. Hold. How have we not even brought this up? This mother scratcher, he just sends a text. He goes, man, crap. I did it again.
No, he
like,
wrote, oops.
yes, this mother scratcher bought another bike. What the hell did you buy now?
CR450RL. It's the dual sport version.
So
of the CR450.
where are you lacking at in your bike arsenal?
Well, this bike.
So what do you have currently? Let's preface. I mean, start
We
with
gotta name all
start with
this.
the XR200 all the way up because you got this pristine XR200. 200's never even seen the dirt.
XR200. It's pristine. I
The
got
XR250.
the Beta 200. We're going by CCs.
Yep.
Yeah,
oh, well, you got
yeah.
the
Oh, stupid.
86 125 that's
yeah,
melted.
No, actually, we have the 86 125. We've got the 72 TS.
Oh, that's right. The little
Oh, the
Suzuki
TS,
TS
175.
185.
Okay,
185.
so 125 to 185.
The XR200.
XR200. Don't tell his wife.
The three XR250s.
One,
Yep.
2, 3.
The CR250. The KTM 350. The CRF now 450.
Do you have a 350 anywhere?
I do have 350. I got the 350.
It's on there. You've counted it.
Oh, I did.
The 350.
Did I get the 450 already?
The Gas 700. And then I've got a Yamaha MT-07 700. I think that's it.
Yeah, I can see the
11
glaring
motorcycles.
hole in
You
your
can see the
arsenal.
neglect, right?
I
Like-
sold one recently, so I had to replace it.
Yeah, a 450 Honda.
Yeah, I
Replaced
sold
with
a
a
450
Okay,
So
okay.
I
I was
did
like, where's that at?
Yeah, so he sold it, and I bought this, the Dual Sport 450, so I can't wait to ride it. It's just a better, like when we went to Colorado, those Dual Sport rides
the
that I
one.
go with them.
That's the one.
That 200 just doesn't go very far
I
on
get
tank of
that.
gas. You know what I mean?
45 miles or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
a
was-
tank of gas, really? At 45 miles?
Dude,
Well, we pushed it to like 50 something on the road in
What does yours go?
Colorado.
100?
108.
Now,
And
the
this bike will go like 100.
okay, so you're
And
more
so-
in line with everybody else.
And if you've got road transfers, this bike will run 60, 70
That
miles
was
an hour.
Nick's problem. He had to go like 40, 45 on the road, and everybody else is going 65.
Just melt that thing.
So when they would take a break, I would just go
He
go
didn't
right by.
stop. He just keep going.
Yeah, because I would
hey,
just,
let's take in the Colorado scenery.
There
I
goes
would
Nick
just-
on the Beta 200.
I would just watch them disappear off in the distance as I was
it's like a yo-yo, huh?
I mean, it would run that fast, but it would have melted. You know what I mean? Like one day, the last day we were there, it got late on us or something. We rode like 60 miles.
I was going to guess 80. I don't
I think it
even
might
know.
have been 80 miles on the road on a 202 stroke. That
Hey,
was-
shout out to Nick, who's
fucking
been our
terrible.
resident man at all the press conferences.
Yes, I mean,
You guys are listening.
Nick
Like
pulls the
Nick's
duty.
doing it. He's doing it. I appreciate your effort. I try to feed you stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm at the fire station. I'm watching the race. I'm like, all right, maybe I can whatever. He sometimes comes up with his own stuff or a hybrid of whatever. But like, dude, well done.
Yeah,
I
I'm
appreciate
thankful
it.
you
Thank
feel
you.
like you have the energy for that, Nick. Because I don't know what it is.
I think Daytona helped us by going in there and meeting everybody because
Yeah.
It's important, dude. It's cool.
They do get like
They do
I get-
appreciate that.
I get the opportunity to ask a question
Yeah,
for both classes.
And hey,
every
the fact
time.
they call on us is the thing. Like we're one of there's 7 or 8 people that get a question
get
for a
to- get
Supercross.
to ask. Yeah.
I appreciate
the
that.
online deal. They probably take
3, 4.
3 to 4.
Yep.
Sometimes 3, sometimes 4. So we usually get it, and I'm usually
2, 1.
2. Yeah, usually like like a lot of times they'll pick that. Like if Racer X is on there,
Yeah, Mitch Kendra.
they'll pick him, or
Fair
if
enough.
Whiskey Throttle is on there, they'll pick that guy. But
There's
sometimes
Steve
they pick him
Brune. He's
behind.
popped in every now and again.
So and there's
No.
other some
No,
other
Steve
dude.
Cox.
No, Steve. No, Steve Brune is dead. Steve
I
Cox.
was going to
is-
say Bruin's
yeah,
not even
Brune's
here.
dead. I'm just kidding.
But is Steve Cox
Mikey P
ever-
from Fresh Dirt is there as well.
Yeah, Mikey P.
Yeah.
No, he's dead too.
So
dude.
there's some other
Time
guy.
marches on, Kev.
There's some other guy named Nick on there sometimes, and he busted in our way once or twice.
No, I'm thinking of Steve Bauer.
and
Steve's still around, but he's not pressed anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
so
Sorry,
But Steve
Nick.
Brune is TFS.
Yeah,
The factory spectator. Yeah.
Yes.
the last
Rest in peace, sir.
last weekend, I asked AP a question about hair care products.
Because he does care, Kevin.
Yeah.
He should.
So I always they still call on us, and I throw in something a little bit funny.
You should. I don't
Like,
think
we'll
there's
throw
ever a
something,
reason.
you know.
You
The
gotta
way
keep
I
it
know
on
that
brand.
we are kind of resonating, not so much with the fans because nobody cares who we are, but whenever they go, hey, let's give it up to Nick from Winners Take Y'all, and I see AP kind of dips his head, kind of smiles.
Because he
I'm like,
knows he's coming, son.
dude,
We're
like I
about to
love that.
ask
Like
you
he
some
knows who you
questions.
are.
Yeah.
He's silly, and he's in the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I threw him off a little bit. I don't think he expected a funny question from me the other day because you're supposed to, when they call on you, she says, Nick from Winners Take Y'all, but then I'm supposed to say, hey, this is Nick from Winners Take Y'all.
Yeah.
And so instead I just said, thanks, Haley. And I started talking to him. And then, but then I got him with the question, and
Good on you.
he was good with that.
Yeah, man, it's important for us to, keep doing that kind of stuff because Sean from Feld said, I want you guys in there.
Yeah,
so.
he really does.
Super
He-
nice
he-
guy. Next year we'll have planned out to do the show.
He wants some East Coast.
like what he like.
Yeah,
he
I would
said.
love to have jumped in and like
We
he
kinda-
gave us a blank slate of things we could do like that nobody else is doing.
But
Which
next year we'll
is
be able to plan
exciting.
that out.
I
This year
feel
was
like
kind of
life is just odd this year, just because. And I hate to keep throwing it back to Ava, but it's true, man. When they're almost done
You can't miss
and
it.
they're going to leave for college, you truly feel like, hey, man, I got 3 more of these.
Yeah.
I need to see them all.
Hey,
Kinda thing.
when I got divorced, I'd never even heard that or thought of it, but I think
You thought of it eventually,
Casey
right?
was 8, and I saw somewhere like, I just came up with it, honestly. It was like, I've got 10 more Christmases, 10 more summer vacations, all that stuff. And
That's
then,
the Nick Blackman theory, dude.
and then
You count them all.
I don't know
son.
if you or I or whatever, we heard it or saw it, where you spend 95% of the time you will ever spend with your child from ages 1 to 18.
yeah.
Makes sense. They're here at 100% of the
Yeah.
time. Then after that, it's like I see my kids, if I'm lucky, once or twice a week.
Yeah.
Because they don't live with
Yeah.
me. Like Casey's doing his thing. He's got a kid. He's married.
Well, he's moved. He lives in his own house.
Yeah. So, and Riley, same thing. He lives with his
Make
mother.
them count,
So,
man. Make every day. Muhammad Ali said, "Don't count the days. Make the days count."
Yeah.
You know
True.
what I mean? And
Yeah, there's truth to that. But I think you're right. It's like next year.
I think it'll be a little
I think
easier
it'll be
for
a
you.
totally different slate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there'll be more time. Everybody thinks that though. That's the lie, right?
No, it's not a lie. No,
I'll have more time
you've allocated
soon.
your time appropriately. You focused on your kids, which you should. And now Ava's going to go do her thing. Now your number behind her sorority or
Yeah.
her school
Oh, yeah,
stuff,
she's
you're
doing
3,
all
4,
that.
5 in the depth chart
Yes.
now. Whereas you're number 2.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't have a steady boyfriend, right?
No, not right now.
So
No.
you guys
She
are
had
1 or
all
2.
last year, but now the boy's from South Alabama, and that's nice because he's 5 hours away.
That helps.
Yeah.
That helps. So, well, dude, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
let's do it.
scared, but we always are faced.
So
with
there's
this.
the SCVMX next weekend.
Fannin County Motocross.
Yeah, but then there's also that other ride that you're trying to talk me into go do.
No, that's Sean trying to talk you into that. Sean Dix, Smoky Mountain 500.
No, the dual sport ride. Where is it? What is it?
Oh, that's Renfro Valley coming up. Actually, so Scott Plessinger will be there. Scott
wow.
Summers will be there. And Shane Nally will be there. Renfro Valley, Kentucky, May 3rd or 4th or somewhere right in there. First weekend in May. And everybody from Georgia's going.
So you're going. He just sold.
I just have to be back that Monday morning. I got a preliminary
Dude, I think
hearing.
you can
Really?
kick it out of that thing Sunday at 2 o'clock. And
Hey,
roll.
that means you're going to have to help me put tires on that motorcycle.
On the 450? Are we running mooses? I'm scared to make eye contact.
Yeah.
Look him in the eye.
Is there anybody that'll put mooses in for you?
Look him in.
Yeah, $75 a tire at Highland Park. KTM World. Dude, it's expensive. It's hard, but we did it.
Yeah.
With Nick's leverage
These
and
are
my
tire irons.
know-how, Nick is tire
We're
irons.
sold. We're sold. Guys, thanks for listening. Thanks to all of our great sponsors.
Oh yeah, like we had a big tie-in this week at a corporate meeting with Pigskins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Happy to bring them on board. Thank you so much. Pigskins, Leverskins,
You know who hasn't really done much for us was Frog Skins.
man, spoke skins,
Lever
dude.
skins.
Skin on skin.
Yeah. There was
I ate pork skins on the way. They're in my truck right now. Thanks to Nick.
he just
No,
pours them out on the floorboard and
I about
starts
blasted
stomping
a
on 'em.
cap off my mouth 2 days ago with the hardest mother effing pork skins I've
Dude,
ever had.
sometimes what's in those things,
What the
dude?
frick, dude?
Sometimes they're like
I could
you
build a
might get
house.
piece
Especially
of
with their
bone.
cracklins. I like the cracklins better. They got the real hard, little soft part.
Bro, this
But-
crown's on like it's
It's hanging by a thread,
it's
right?
high mileage right here, dude.
We go have these
No,
Loctite
hey,
and
when I was in
everything else.
Colorado a couple weeks ago, I had a crown come off, right?
Oh, you didn't tell us this.
No, it came off in Colorado first day.
While he's skiing, he's like never hit the moguls.
And
He
it's
caught it in the air, it flew out of his mouth.
Caught it with his mouth.
It's
He's cooked
it
on
was a
skin.
gold crown.
Yes.
It's been on there since I was 10 years
Little
old.
Wayne
It wasn't
had
a Crown
12 years
Royal?
old. Nope.
I didn't know you had a gold crown.
I'm
son.
getting
you got
two
a grill,
more,
son.
So the next ones that are coming.
What?
He got a
Yeah.
grill starter.
Okay.
So I had 2 gold crowns on one on each side of my mouth
Hell yes. You
from the
did.
time I was like 4th grade or something.
Solid gold.
Represent-
They're worth-
One of them
they're worth
come off a couple years
$10,000.
ago, and the damn dentist said, I said, well, can I get another gold one? He goes, nobody uses gold, and this stuff's better, and the gold would be
bullshit,
too
dude.
expensive or whatever. And so I didn't put another gold one back in, right?
And you've regretted it ever since.
I have, and I went to another dentist, and I knew when this one, if anything ever happened to this one, I had broken a tooth in front of that crown, so I knew I was going to get 2 crowns.
Oh,
tooth,
it's
right?
on, son. I'm
And
getting
so
double the gold.
I had the old one, and she goes, "Oh, you had a gold one." She goes, "Do you want
$3,000 in a house, baby.
Do you want more gold ones?"
I always
Hell
want
yes,
more
I do.
gold.
And I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Show
So
me the gold.
the day after,
I want the gold.
So that rides the 3rd and 4th. I got a court in the 6th. I'm going, and I'm getting 2 gold crowns
Bam!
put in this side.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah,
Little
bitch
John.
ass.
So if anything ever happens
Nick
to me,
John.
Little
if
John
we're ever
Blackman.
riding and I get killed, dig them fucking
Get them
crowns
things
out.
out, dude.
Give
You
them
gotta
my
cash
son.
that in,
Yeah.
son.
Here you go, son. That's it, boys. Thanks for listening, you idiots.
Love y'all.
Winners take y'all.